Welcome everybody to Orleanic, Russia for round 5 of the round 7, I should say, the 2020 MXS World Grand Prix Championship, round 6. A couple weeks ago, we had a week off last week, but here's the MX2 World Championship standings with Tyler Lang ahead of Braden Carter right now by a margin of 26 points. So he actually has a full moto distance on Carter in the standings, and we'll have to keep an eye on those guys tonight. Payson Johnson also mixed in the points as well. And of course, the MX1 standings also pretty close at the top of the standings between Leclerc and Haley, but we'll get to them in the second half of the evening's action. But this track here in Russia, 1,690 meters in length, 1.05 miles long. It's a pretty long and fast racetrack, for which ultimately ends up in a shorter lap time than we're normal to, under the 2-minute marker by a long ways. Gorgeous little facility here just on the coast of Russia, only about 80 miles away from Sochi, where the 2010 Winter Olympics were held, of course, and about 800 miles outside of Moscow, very southern part of Russia, and a really gorgeous part of the country as well. Over the finish line, jump, a little step up, and then a long drive up this hill past the mechanics area. You just want to click up into 4th or 5th and carry a lot of speed into this wall jump. Got to get on the brakes hard to scrub this thing down. And then you got this really tricky drop down, which if you go a little bit too long, it's really easy to fall off on that drop off. Then up through the little race tech plateau, drop back down off the single again into another wall jump. Really tight technical section of the track coming up here as you jump up to the top. Got a little switchback that drops you down all the way to the other end of the facility down by the big structure over here. Kind of work your way back up to the top of the hill again, though, as you come out of the small valley over this table, go through another little ravine, and then out the other side, and then a really technical section here at the top of the hill. Big tabletops. You're going to see a lot of whips being done on these tables, scrubs and everything. Guys trying to stay low, but these two really short tabletops lead you into this camelback tabletop, essentially, which you can triple all the way down the hill or come up a little bit short and try to get to these inside ruts. Shoot back up the hill, turn left, and drop back down into the ravine one more time before you're heading down towards the home stretch of the track, really the back half of the track. About a minute or 10 seconds or so into the lap at this point. Roller section into a wall jump, and then down the backside of that leads you into a little switchback section again, kind of a chicane through here, and then this big table that drops you down into this fast section in the back. Long, big tabletops. Big tabletop here, and then another big step up all the way into the very back end of the circuit here. You want to scrub pretty hard, get on the brakes, and get down to the inside of the corner here. Jump back down into this little gully out the other side, and then split options outside, step over or inside double table. And then down by the race tech hole shot area and up and over the finish line jump. That is a lap here at Orleanic in Russia. Well, again, it is the 7th round of the championship, and I'm so glad you guys could join us here tonight. Of course, my name is Kellen Brauer. We're going to be bringing you guys the action here. First up, it's the MX2 division, and we've already seen the standings of the MX2 World Championship and where things are. But with only 4 rounds left in this championship, it is coming down to the nitty-gritty here between guys like Tyler Lang, Braden Carter, and Payson Johnson to try to claw away some victories here late in the season, and we're going to see how they qualified here real quick as we pull up that on the screen. Colby Eaglin, 140.5 140.5. Braden Carter on a 140.6. So if your title contenders, he taking the jump there on everybody else. Nathan Prynn, 140.7. Payson Johnson also on a 140.7. And Benjamin Saves comes in at a 140.8. Tyler Lang, your world championship leader, on a 140.9. Everybody else 141 on back. What we're going to look for here, though, is whether or not there'll be a consolation race at all. Actually, doesn't look like they are going to have enough people. We'll have to see. It's going to be very close. But we're going to jump into the server right now, try to figure it out and figure out where everything is here at the Grand Prix of Russia. It does look like we are potentially going to have a consolation race of some kind. In fact, it looks like they actually just got underway. So consolation race underway, and only going to have 4 riders go through this one. With the 6 riders in this one, it should probably get pretty siphoned out fairly quickly. It might even be a short one where they call it early if they have 4 riders already in. But Brady White takes the early lead here from Brody Jenner, Jack Fowler, and Ryder Gwynn. I don't feel like that's actually the real Brody Jenner, but whoever it is, interesting choice of name. Jack Fowler and Ryder Gwynn inside of the top 4. Joey Arrico back here in 5th, and Sebastian Racine down in 6th, already losing touch at the front 5. Again, only the top 4 go through into the motos. 2 MX2 motos on the docket here tonight for 30 minutes and 2 laps for the 7th round of their World Championship season. Right now, Ryder Gwynn trying to hold off Joey Arrico. They work through this back side of the track. Oh, Arrico going super long on the table, and he's going to go down. The 699 OJ is the first table. He's off the bike. And that's going to allow Sebastian Racine on this Creation Motorsports machine to move on by. So now he's going to try to close this gap down on Ryder Gwynn. Jack Fowler and Brady White out at the front still. Brody Jenner 2.1 seconds down. And the MXS Magazine 615 trying to pull out an early gap here to give himself enough of a cushion, afford himself a fall-off crash or 2 and still make it into the transfer spots here. Jenner's keeping it close, though, and Ryder Gwynn is now taken over 3rd. And Sebastian Racine has moved up into that final transfer spot, so Jack Fowler's losing out now. The VlastMX.com number 86, you earned that number 86 number by actually racing events last year in the Grand Prix circuit. So Fowler knows how to score some points even. And right now needs to fight his way into this final transfer spot and knock out the 422 machine here of Sebastian Racine. Nine-second gap from the leader to 3rd. 11-second gap from the leader to 4th. So the leader, Brady White, definitely has the ability to fall off the bike once here and probably be okay, as Jack Fowler goes a little long here. Misses that rut. And Racine is caught up to Ryder Gwynn here. This back section of the track, you'd feel like it's going to be a fast, flowy section back here, but it's just so stop and go. These big booter tabletops, you just can't over jump them because you land in transition there, it's an immediate fall off, so you got to really be patient as Racine tries to get to the inside of Ryder Gwynn. I don't know how he got the Creation Motorsports 422 stop there. Just able to corral together before he ran into the 252. His teammate, actually. Both these guys in transfer spots, so they would behoove themselves not to go down together as well. Racine getting sideways in the track there, but a nice save. And they're actually going around Brady White right now, who's had some troubles. The 615, who was leading this race, has dropped back to the 3 spot. And that puts Brody Jenner, the Zinger Box 282, out front. White not getting all the way over that table might allow Ryder Gwynn to peek up the inside here in the back for the finish line jump. Still no real pressure being applied from Jack Fowler out of P5. About 7 seconds off as the white flag comes out. This is going to be a short 4-lapper as they clicked onto the second lap out of the second corner of the race. So right now, Brady White trying to catch up to Sebastian Racine and go back around him. Got to be careful dropping down in here. You could definitely go a little bit too long one of those tracks that it feels so fast, and the lap times end up being a lot quicker than you expect, but in reality, you just have to be so patient with how big some of these jumps are scaled. Brady White sneaks around the outside of Racine and then slides out himself. So Racine holds it on, and here comes Ryder Gwynn up the hill behind this little train. So the top four, quite comfortable at the moment. 6-second gap from Gwynn to Fowler. Fowler's got to try to make that time up. Joey Rico still circulating down in P6, but looking like his night will be over. Unfortunate that there's going to be two guys that don't end up going into the motos. I've often seen it before where the Race Factory crew just allows all 6 riders in and puts 2 people on the back row, because you can usually expect at least a couple DNS riders out of that second moto. But not tonight. They're playing it by the book. They're making sure we have a full 40-man gate as Brady White's going to launch over Cody Racine in a transition to go down. He's gone down, but Jack Fowler's lost a ton of time, so he might escape this one unscathed. As meanwhile, up front, Brody Jenner on the number 400 Zinger Box Suzuki is going to bring it down, and he will win the consolation race. Sebastian Racine, he's going to pick up second on his Creation Motorsports machine. His teammate Ryder Gwynn will look to pick up third, and Brady White nearly had a heart and mouth moment there at the end, going down. He's got to be really careful here to try to get it through to the finish line, as Jack Fowler could capitalize on a late mistake here, but Brady White will cross the line fourth, stamp his ticket to the motos. Jack Fowler, bit of a surprise here to see the 86 not going through into tonight's action, but he will coast down to the flag and tiptoe over the finish line. Rico already rage quit, and that is confirmed consolation race. Jenner, Racine, Gwynn, and White going through in this one. All right, back overhead here. Orleanic in Russia. As we look, we are looking to the south. And if we were to pan that way down the coast of Russia that way, that's where you would find Sochi, about 80 miles that way. Also a host of the Russian Grand Prix in Formula One. And at the very, very, very southern tip of Russia is this racetrack. But a gorgeous facility nonetheless, and we're very excited to be bringing you guys the action here tonight. Orleanic Russian Grand Prix in MX Simulator. Griffin Cumbridge would like to know, how is the family? The family is doing fabulous. We're just living life, enjoying every minute of it. My daughter turned a month old. It's today the 27th, so she was a month old on Saturday. Kind of can't believe that's already the case, but time flies. And I'm sure time is going to fly now that I'm a father. Before I know it, she'll be too old to really know what just happened. But yeah, she's doing great. Wife's doing great. Dog's doing great. We're all doing great. All right, MX2 Race 1 coming up here. MXS Grand Prix of Russia. Round 7 of 10 in the championship. And we're going to see what shakes down as we load in here. The Reed 34 would like to know, Kellen, what is your best season finish in your Pro MX Simulator career? I finished 4th in the 2017 250 East Championship. I should have finished 3rd. I had a horrible showdown in Las Vegas. And Connor Holiak, Holiak won the title that year. So somebody pipped me to 3rd in the championship there. I don't remember who exactly. But I think that was my best ever season finish. I finished 4th overall in the MX2 World Championship in 2013. Got a couple podiums at Belgium and Italy, I believe, that year. But yeah, I never got top 3 overall, but I did have a couple good races, and usually I would find my way inside of the top 10 in points. The 2 times I raced a full 450 championship in game, I finished 7th and 8th in outdoor championship points. Won a moto at Budds Creek in 2014. Won that first moto ahead of Alexis Leclerc and defending champion at the time, Zach Dupuis. And then absolutely crapped the bed in the second moto and finished 13th. So I finished 6th overall that day. I was disappointed. But lived and learned. Alrighty, as we're about to get loaded in here, who's everybody in the chat got for the pick tonight? We got Tyler Lang, Braden Carter, Payson Johnson, Colby Eaglin, Nathan Prynn, just to name a few. Of course, maybe you have your own favorite picked out. Love to hear what you guys think is going to happen in this first MX2 moto. I think a lot of it's going to come down to start on this track. Don't want to get tied up in some chaos early on. Get away from everybody and set sail, if at all possible. All right, we got 1 vote for Braden Carter, 2 votes for Braden Carter. Rocky Urban and Griffin Cumbridge both believe Braden Carter will win this first moto here at Russia. Brendan Kennedy also coming in with a Braden Carter pick. We got 3 Braden Carters. Nobody else has been picked yet. Chad is all aboard the Carter train tonight. And he's going to try to convert a race victory here, which would be huge for his championship hopes. The Reed 34 has Carter for his MX2 pick and Walter Gebhardt for his MX1 pick. So that is 4 votes for Carter. Steve Harris likes T-Lang. He's all aboard the T-Lang train. We got Owen Delahunt with Carter as well. 5 votes for Carter. Ethan says, dude, Braden 100%. So that's 6 votes for Carter. Yes, Griffin Cumbridge definitely planning on doing some online plays in the future. I got to get Alex Heckman to log into his computer at some point here, and we'll do some of that stuff. I also want to do some stuff with Ethan Parks. That'll be fun. Maybe get the whole group together at some point as well. All right. Marcia Seamus likes Tyler Lang. Shannon Steer is all about Nathan Prynn. Gucci 111 has picked Payson Johnson. Sund Racing's got Joe Wagner. Sean 625 is all about Spencer Turley. David Weiler has got Payson Johnson as well, as does Raris. And Scoochie likes Benjamin Saves. SNP Rento is going for Paulson. Jeremy Estrella likes Prynn and Seabolt in the 450 class. And Rare is also picking Prynn as well. But it is time to go racing here. 30 minutes plus 2 laps at the Orleanic MXGP track in Russia. Jovi's going to turn that 30 card sideways, start moonwalking his way up the track. And we'll be off and running here in Russia in no time. Let's drop the gate. It is MX2 Race 1 at the Russian Grand Prix. Big start out of the middle. That looks to be Dickerson, perhaps. On the 26, it is Isaiah Dickerson who gets to the corner first. Can he hold it? Around the inside was almost the 18 machine of Braden Carter, but it is Isaiah Dickerson picking up the whole shot. He leads lap 1. Dalton Plessinger coming in there. Somebody just went invis out of second. That's going to be dangerous if he comes back in the middle of this battle. Plessinger launches the walls. Carter and Tomic swing to the outside to try to go by him. And then Plessinger launches across the track and takes down Braden Carter. Absolutely brutal cross jump that has wreaked a bunch of havoc. Several riders going down. A horrible, horrible show of display there by Dalton Plessinger, trying to regain second place and just beelined across the track, took out Carter, somehow, some way did not take down Tyron Tomic. And in the end, it is now Dickerson from Tomic out front with Braden Carter having a ton of work to do. Dickerson, Tomic, Hubbard up front, Luke Sullivan, Seberg, Gerst, Alex Kerr, Payson Johnson's got a good start. They're all ahead of Lang so far. Colby Eaglin, your fastest qualifiers back here with Trent Shepard, Tyler Lang, Dalton Plessinger right behind Tyler Lang, and Carter right behind Plessinger. I'm really curious to see whether or not Braden Carter has some payback in mind on Dalton Plessinger. Meanwhile, Plessinger's trying to get around Lang. Lang's trying to keep touch with people in front of him. Lang goes down, takes down Plessinger, so Carter doesn't need to repay anybody. And it looks like there was some lag involved there for Plessinger, who just got spit sideways and then it went invisible. So Carter able to sneak on by, and Lang laying on the ground back there is losing so many points if it stays the way it is. Uh-oh, Dickerson's lost the lead, which means we have Tyron Tomic on the Connect Visual 311 Suzuki trying to come down and lead lap number 2, and he will do so. So Tomic out front, the Australian leading here in Russia, down by the mechanics area, trying to pull away from the field. He's got Luke Sullivan and Ben Seberg closing up. Long time since we've seen Great Britain, the pride of Great Britain, Ben Seberg on the Rockstar Husky number 14 machine out here. So good to see him return to action, going to battle against Luke Sullivan here. Into his rear wheel, and oh, he rode out of it. I don't know how Ben Seberg saved that one, but that was heart and mouth moment for sure, and has to slam on the brakes and not get into the back of Sullivan there. Shout out David Weiler in chat. Thank you for saying my last name right. He just donated $5. You are the man. Hope you're having a good night at the races so far. A lot of racing action still to come, but I very much appreciate that donation, good sir. As Seberg continues to work on Sullivan for the 2 spot. All these guys tripling down the hill. Seberg's going to swing wide. Sullivan goes far inside and defends inside once more. Seberg's going to try this outside into the rollers, carry a little bit more speed, but Sullivan seems to have got the rhythm a little bit better through there. Trying to close up on Tomic out front, but the 311 machine holding the rest of the field at bay. Nice little flick scrubs for both riders over the table. And then nice dualies, essentially. Not quite side by side, but literally mimicking each other both directions on the scrubs. And Seberg just all over Luke Sullivan here as they come back down by the finish line. Sullivan, Seberg, P2 and P3 as Tyron Tomic continues to lead here. Boy, wouldn't this be something? Saw that Dylan Long, old mate Dylan Long, posted up on his Instagram after finishing top 10 at the Thunder Valley National in the 450 class earlier this week. And I think it was Tomic that responded on his account and said Dylan Long's carrying Australia single-handedly. Well, right now, Tomic putting the Aussie, oi, oi, oi's out front as Sullivan goes down out of P2. That's going to allow Gerst to go by. Hubbard also going through, and Payson Johnson getting around. Luke Sullivan gets up just ahead of Braden Carter. Alex Kerr, Benjamin Saves, Nygren, Dickerson, Hunt, Eaglin, Shepard, McLaughlin, Copeland, Tomasunis, Adams, and then Lang. So Tyler Lang right now is P19 for your current points leader. A lot of racing still to go, of course. 25 minutes and 2 laps remain on the clock, but not the ideal scenario here for Tyler Lang to have to work his way through the field. He's going to get a free spot there as he moves to 18th. And he's putting the pressure here on Trent Adams, I believe this is, on the number 22 QM1 Yamaha machine. Lang's going to go long on the triple to carry speed around the outside, and Adams goes to defend. Again, defends down the inside. They're also closing up there. Just can't quite see who's ahead of him, but Lang's going to get a drive here and might get a 2 for... Oh, he almost clipped that rider going down. He's trying to get to the inside of Adams, but Adams shuts the door. I don't know how Lang avoided that flipping bike. Looks like his rear wheel may have caught it on the way by. Definitely a close call there. That could have resulted in yet another fall, and I just pressed the wrong button on my controller again. I keep doing that. Got to stop doing that. Dualies, though, just coming back in time for it. So Lang rails around the outside of Trent Adams. And I want to go back and find who that was that went down. I don't think, it might have been actually Thomas Sunis now that I see it. That was going down there in the rollers. Owen Hillman, Dylan Cavacuti back here also down. So an update on Lang, he has moved up into 17th now. And it's still Tyron Tomic out front here. 6 minutes down. A lot of time left on the clock, but for the time being, Tomic has got a nice lead working, and he looks quite smooth out front and in control. It appears it is still Luke Sullivan back in second, but we'll have to get a update on the timing and scoring sheet at the top of your screen here. Does it come on through? No, it actually, I apologize. It is Seberg still in second. That's right, because Sullivan went down. Saw that happen. So Seberg has moved up to second, and wouldn't this be something in his return race here? Ben Seberg might find his way to the lead of the Russian Grand Prix before long. So you're looking at Seberg, who, of course, has won some Grand Prix in his day, won some races as well on both sides of North America and EU racing series. Trying to close up on a man who is yet to stamp his name in the winner's book, Tyron Tomic. But this would be a big night for the Aussie if he could get it done. Seberg down! OJ's into the valley. I was talking about that at the beginning of the broadcast, how often we may see that happen tonight, and already Seberg goes long. We also saw someone in the consolation race go long. But how about Braden Carter, who that unfortunate contact with Dalton Plessinger just getting on the gas and beelining across the track, taking down Carter early on, doesn't seem to have affected him negatively that much, as he's now moved up to second and is in a really good position to claw some good points away here. 26 points down in the championship of Lang. Needs a huge win here to get back into this thing. So it's 11.5 seconds down of our race leader, but clearly has the mindset to set sail after him and perhaps bring Seberg with him. These two could get together and start training up to that race lead currently held by Tyron Tomic. Through the rollers, Seberg looks like he's got a little better drive, but Carter gets to the end of the rollers quicker, and then they have to slam on the brakes. Go over that single around the outside. Seberg trying a different line again. So again, through this fast, flowy tabletop section in the back, they both lay it over to their left and then flick it back to the right. Man, that section is a lot of fun to watch here on cams, as Carter opens up a small gap right now on Seberg, trying to just get away from the number 14 machine behind him. So it's Benjamin Saves right now back and forth. He's picked up a new ride this week. The Elevated Motorsports crew went out and grabbed Benjamin Saves. And so far it's paying good dividends for them, because he has put this machine up inside of the top 5. And Benjamin Saves has also been quite quick most of this season. Luke Sullivan has dropped back to 5th. Isaiah Dickerson, after picking up that hole shot, is now back in 6th. 7th here for Jacob Hubbard. Ethan Gerst in a bit of a battle right now with Colby Eaglin for 8th. Eaglin, your fastest qualifier here tonight. Really started to find his groove into the second half of the GP Championship and into the middle part of the season for the National Championship. On the outside, trying to get that pass done on Gerst. They're going to go bar to bar. Be careful not to hit each other here. This is really tight action. Both flick across the track, and they're both going to try to triple down this hill. Gerst might go a little long here, so got to be careful. Dickerson was down. Nice outside move there by Eagland. And Payson Johnson on the 351 also sneaking up into this mix, as Gerst just trying not to get parlayed by both of them. Dickerson was down ahead of them, so they have caught up to the 26 machine. And Gerst trying to move around the outside here. Look at this line. Can he get it to work? Oh, not quite. But look at this, 4 riders in the air coming down the hill here. This will be fun. Let's see if we get dualies action. Oh, dualies. Gotta love it. More dualies? Not quite. Oh, man, they disappointed me. But Ethan Gerst just got passed by Payson Johnson, and then Dickerson stands up. Eaglin in the corner. Johnson gets clipped by Gerst, and Eaglin able to get that spot back, but Johnson down on the ground, losing several positions, crucially falling behind championship leader Tyler Lang as well. Shepard, Cooper, Hunt also going through as Lang's trying to work around them. This would move him up to 10th if he could get by. He's in 12th right now as Tyler Lang. Look at Lang peeking inside. 3 riders, 3 different ranges of jumping down the hill, and Tyler Lang just playing it safe, jumps to the inside of both, makes a pass on both, and he's up into 10th. Next up will be Ethan Gerst. He'll try to go after him. Colby Eagland just got into the 422 of Racine, who's a lap down. So Gerst goes by. Here comes Lang trying to make the pass on Eagland as well. It's going to be bar to bar up the hill now. Eagland shuts the door, but this fight is far from over as Dickerson's trying, or I'm sorry, Lang is trying to size up something here. Look at this 3-rider battle coming over the table here. Oh, Eagland peeks inside, gets by Gerst. He's trying to go after Dickerson. Sullivan, Hubbard saves Carter, Seberg, Tomich. So it's still Tomich, Seberg, Carter, saves, and Hubbard inside of your top 5. Sullivan back here in 6th. And Dickerson right in front of Eagland in 7th. 8th now for Eagland ahead of Gerst. 9th for Lang. Or I'm sorry, 10th for Lang behind Gerst. Shepard right behind him. So this little battle is kind of 8 through 11-ish right now. Really good one to watch as Lang is trying to slice and dice his way through the field. Not even yet halfway into this yet. And Tyler Lang, World Championship leader on the number 49, has squeaked his way up into the points. Inside of the top 10, actually, as Eagland goes down. So Eagland's going to lose 4 positions, it looks like. No, that was a lapped rider. I'm sorry. So he only lost a spot to Hunt, Shepard, and yeah, that was it. Well, Lang and Gerst also went by. That's correct. So those 2 move up a position each. They're now 8th and 9th, respectively. Lang still trying to look for a move. Whoa, we got someone coming back onto your screen right there. That was some lag out of, not sure who that was. It was somebody on a Suzuki. I do not believe it was Tyron Tomich. Gerst just trying to hold Lang at bay. Lang actually made a mistake and allowed Trent Shepard to sneak up the inside, but not going to get that pass completed is Shepard. Curious when we might see some people check up and not go for the triple and land on that inside rut as Cooper Hunt just got passed by Eagland, and got to be careful because Payson Johnson's trying to sneak up into the mix as well. This is a very technical racetrack, and we're seeing all facets of skill sets being displayed here this season in the Grand Prix circuit. Johnson peeks inside of Hunt. Let's see if he shuts the door in the next corner. No, he goes outside, but that will turn into that position switching hands. Change for the lead up front. Ben Seberg has taken over the lead. We've lost Tomich. He's back in 2nd now. So something happened to Tyron Tomich. Lap time check 53.1 to a 42.8. So definitely a fall-off crash last time by for Tomich. And Seberg also got around Carter, so it completely flipped around up here. Carter's lost pace with these guys. And now Seberg just went down out of the lead. So Tomich goes back to the lead. There's Seberg getting up. Still in 2nd. Benjamin Saves is now 3rd. Jacob Hubbard's moved up to 4th. Luke Sullivan is in 5th. And here is Braden Carter now back in 6th. So something happened to the number 18 machine, causing him to lose several positions. And he's having to work his way through everybody now. So just as quickly as Seberg got the lead, coughs it right back up. Tomich takes full advantage of that. Trying to figure out what happened with Braden Carter here that dropped him from 2nd down to 6th, but he is working on regrouping, and he's got to because championship leader Tyler Lang is already up to 7th, And Braden Carter definitely cannot afford to lose more points in this championship fight. So 15 minutes in, almost 16 minutes actually, so we're looking at about just over 14 minutes and 2 laps left to go here. MX2 Race 1 at the Russian Grand Prix, and lap traffic, man, they are just all over the place, getting out of the way. Very nicely done by them all, but still crazy to see how many lappers they're already into as Lang is trying to hold off teammate Isaiah Dickerson. Dickerson keeping him honest. Here's Payson Johnson just ahead of Hubbard. I'm sorry, Shepard. Not Hubbard. The other Erd. Hubbard is up in 4th. Shepard down here in 10th, I believe. Yeah. So he's trying to close that gap up. Colby Eaglin also tailing up the hill behind them. Might as well, for the time being, go ahead and do a very quick top 20 rundown as Tyron Tomich brings us through the back section. And this top 20 rundown is brought to you by Ride365.com. Ride365.com, title sponsor of the National Championship and a big helping part of this Grand Prix circuit. Good spot to go check out the latest gear, hard parts, components, anything you need. Ride365.com will have it for you. Head over there today, find what you need, and check out. And yeah, Ride365.com. All right, Tyron Tomich, Connect Visual 311. Continues to lead the race here, looking for his first ever race victory in the Pro Series. We're looking for MX2 Race 1 here in the Grand Prix scene. He's got to hold off the charge out of Ben Seberg on the Rockstar Husky. Number 14 sitting in second. Benjamin Saves, the Elevated Motorsports, number 54. He's running in the 3 spot right now. Good ride for him in his debut ride with Elevated Motorsports. P4 right now, Braden Carter, QM1, number 18. He just made the pass, actually, on Jacob Hubbard on the 75 LastMX.com machine. He's dropped back into 5th, still ahead of Luke Sullivan on the QM1, number 11. And here's 7th, Tyler Lang, MV Films, number 49, trying to slice and dice his way through the field. Done a good job so far and still has a lot of time to play with as he goes for Sullivan in 6th. Payson Johnson back here in 8th on the Panini Motorsports 351, getting a little sideways. Nice job to corral it together, though. He's dealing with pressure from his teammate in 9th. Colby Eaglin on the Panini Motorsports number 57. Might get that pass done, dropping down the hill. Gonna have to go around the outside, long way around, and just cannot quite get it done. Let's stick with this battle for a second before we continue on. Let's see if Eaglin can get this pass done on his teammate. Up and over the wall jump. And, of course, this tricky drop down. Ooh, Johnson, big scrub. Nice. Very nicely done down the hill. Eaglin not quite able to get it close enough, so let's go ahead, run back through this top 20 rundown. Trent Shepard right now rounding out the top 10, I should say, on the QM1 number 78. He's just ahead of Isaiah Dickerson on the number 26 MV Films ride. He's actually supposed to be number 260 in the GP scene, but we'll let it slide. Cooper Hunt runs 12th on the Privateer Effort 304 machine. Good ride for him so far. 13th for Alex Kerr on the Takatoji number 352. 14th, Frank Jackson on the Viraco number 67, ahead of Colt Hans on the AEO Power Sports number 821 in 15th. 16th, Dylan Copeland, the Tiger Designs Factory Racing number 14 machine, holding off a charge from Ethan Gerst on the AEO Power Sports number 260, down in 17th. 18th, Dylan Cavacuti on the Takatoji number 177. 19th for Noah McLaughlin on the It's LXON Productions.com number 124. And P20, the Frenchman Nathan Prin on the Panini Motorsports number 130. Holding down the final points paying position, although no, that was a lapped rider. I apologize. So no change in there. Cale Braden in 21st. But that was a top 20 rundown brought to you by the folks at Ride365.com. 20 minutes down, 10 minutes and a couple laps to go before Tyron Tomich has his name in the record books. And he's opened up a gap on Seberg. Something happened to Seberg, but Benjamin Saves is coming forward now. And the 54 machine is closed right up on Tomich. Lands on a tough block, so loses some time. But either one of these guys, this will be their first ever race win if they can make this happen. Braden Carter, though, P3, he's only 2.6 seconds off the lead, and that could be deadly for these two trying to make this happen. You can see Carter on the 18 sneaking into the picture here. And looking at 9 minutes and 2 laps to go, this is definitely an opportunity for Carter to win this race as he's launched down the hill behind these guys. And suddenly he's right in this mix as he's putting the pressure on Saves. Saves a little wayward coming down the hill there. So it's Tomic, Saves, and Carter, 1, 2, 3, all on your screen right here as they are now completed with 13 laps on lap number 14. Final third of this race, and it is anybody's race out at the front of the field. Tomic and Saves both would love to pick up their first ever race victory, but Braden Carter in the midst of this championship fight needs all the points he can get. Oh, Tomic! And he went down and he took Saves with him. So Carter goes to the lead. I don't know how Tomic stayed on 2 wheels. He actually did not go off the bike. He just got back going. But that cost a chance for Saves to go into the lead as he was avoiding Tomic, who got stood up straight on the wall. And it allows Carter through into the race lead. So Braden Carter out front here. Russian Grand Prix on the QM1 number 18 machine. Trying to get as many points as he can against Lang. Oh, Tyron Tomic is going to be gutted if he can't close this back down. Braden Carter not quite getting away just yet. Trying to lap his teammate here. Can't see who that is, but it's definitely one of the QM1 riders just ahead of him. Very nicely moves out of the way, and Tomic goes down. It was McDaniel on the 181 who just moved right off the racetrack. Very nicely done. Saves is not going to get to Tomic, though. Suddenly Hubbard up in here, trying to move up into P3, but Tyler Lang has been lurking this entire moto. When we first picked him up, he was down in 19th. Now he runs in 5th and has a very, very real shot of getting on a podium here. Got to close up on Hubbard first, of course, and then Benjamin Saves is just ahead of him. Payson Johnson down in 6th, trying to gain some points back. Colby Eaglin in 7th. Ben Seberg, man, really thought he might have a shot at winning this moto. He's dropped all the way to 8th. Luke Sullivan is now 9th. And Dickerson rounds out your top 10. Not really a ton of close battles. Maybe teammates here, Eaglin and Johnson, getting a little frisky together. Both riders scrubbing down these tables in the back quite well. Johnson tries to go for that inside rut, hooks it, but then kind of blows it. So inside goes Eaglin. He might pull alongside of his teammate here. Can he get the pass done? He's trying to go around the long way here into the rollers. He's not quite got a wheel in there just yet. It's very close. And Johnson shuts the door hard, but then launches down the hill, comes to a dead stop. So Eaglin peeks up inside of him, and it's going to be bar to bar down the hill. Oh, it's dangerous. Don't want to make contact with your teammate. Oh, nice little flick there on the right-hand side of your screen. Riders were down. I think that was Lang as Johnson whips in his face, and it was Lang who was down. Tyron Tomic is way back here suddenly with Seberg, and Lang has coughed up a lot more points out of nowhere. I'm not sure what exactly happened. Oh, and Tomic down again. Oh, how did they both miss him? But Tyron Tomic coming unglued here. Had the lead for so much of this race. Now looking like he might not even finish inside of the top 10 at the rate it's going. It's Carter from Saves Hubbard and this Johnson-Eaglin battle pushing up to the back of Hubbard now. as Hubbard moves up into third. Lang was in a position to move into third. He just dropped down because of that crash. Eaglin trying to close up. Here is Lang, though. Now running down in the 6th spot with Carter out front. That is going to be a nice points haul there for Braden Carter. Actually be 10 points gained, so bring that gap down to 16 points between the two of them in the championship. Although Lang has to deal with some pressure here. Ben Seberg not letting him go. Although we just had another rider down. That was not for position, though. Seberg trying to get to the inside. That is a position, though. That was Payson Johnson down. And then Lang coughs it right back up, so he just as soon as he gained points, loses them again. That's going to be another point lost in the championship. Brings us down to a 15-point lead if Carter is able to hold on for the win. Still a lot of, not a lot of time, but time left on the clock for things to change. So here is Carter out front, 27 minutes coming in to this one. Only 3 minutes and 2 laps now left in this race, and Braden Carter looking to gain a lot of points back on Lang. Would be a huge help in his case if he can win the second moto as well, and he would have, at best, half the points gap between himself and Tyler Lang for this World Championship. 12-second lead now, 13 to be exact on Benjamin Saves. Jacob Hubbard still runs third. Eaglin is fourth. Seberg up into fifth. Johnson sixth. Lang has dropped back to seventh, but he appears like he's all over Johnson. He is all over the back of Payson Johnson. Can Lang make something happen here on the 351? Losing a little bit of ground, actually. Lap traffic doing a nice job to get out of the way there. That's the 171 of Nathan Guy on the C4Designs.co ride. Just letting him go. Good job. Good on him. Almost lands on the back of Lang there, so got to be careful. Rider down, Seberg. Seberg on the 14 hits the deck. That's another spot for Lang. And Seberg gets up alongside Sullivan. But definitely lost a couple positions there. Lang taking full advantage of that. Now might have an opportunity to go up inside of the top 5 if he can get around Payson Johnson. Oh, lap rider. Woo, that's close. Johnson doing everything he can to keep Lang at bay, and they're actually closing up on Hubbard on the 75 on that Yamaha. Just ahead of them. A minute left on the clock, which means most likely next time by will be the 2-lap board. Tyler Lang trying to go inside Payson Johnson. Get that drive up the hill. Johnson shuts the door. This battle is definitely reeling in Hubbard quite quickly as they're trying to pass one another. Of course, Lang's trying to get around Johnson, but Johnson now... Oh, Johnson down, and Lang flying down the hill has to avoid him by hopping over some ruts. Luckily, he did not go down, so Sullivan and Seberg both go by. Here comes Tomic to make the move. Payson Johnson losing 4 positions there. Meanwhile, Braden Carter will indeed get that 2-lap board next time by, as time has now expired. 30 minutes is down, and boy, just in time. It's only 2 corners until the finish line, so 2-lap board going to come out awfully quick here. And this race is actually going to be over fairly quick as well. So Braden Carter is going to bring us down, and 2 to go. 1 minute 45-ish second lap times that they're currently running, so not too much of this race remains, 3.5 minutes or so. Benjamin Saves looking for a terrific second place finish in this first moto, but Colby Eaglin fastest quad. Sorry about this, folks. Looks like we're coming back now? Perhaps? Maybe? Am I going to have to disconnect from the server? What the heck just happened? My internet just went hard cut there. Alright, I'm going to disconnect and reconnect real quick, so hopefully we can see it. I must have timed out of the server. I apologize for that. We just went off the air for a brief second. That was my internet crashing for a quick second. I'm not sure what just happened. And apologize for that. Alright, so we wait for timing and scoring to catch up to itself because white flag is about to come out, but it's going to take a minute. So timing and scoring working on catching up to itself. That white flag should be waving right now for Carter. If I can go find Carter, that'd be great actually. Is he already out front in this? Nope. There he is. Okay, so Carter, yeah, white flag is out. He's on the final lap of the race. Of course, timing and scoring is going to take a weird minute here because it's got to run through everything that's already happened in the server to give me consistent time. And not quite there yet. Lap 17 should be catching up here. 18. Lap 19. Lap 20. And there we go. All right, 6.8 second lead for Carter. Final lap of the race. Benjamin saves Colby Eagland, Tyler Lang, Jacob Hubbard inside of the top 5. So Lang has got some good positions back. Seberg's trying to hold off Dickerson here. Again, I apologize for the blip in the broadcast there. Oh, Seberg down as Dickerson goes by. Sullivan's going to also go around. Payson Johnson might have an opportunity to go by as Seberg just gets going. Not quite. Oh, I thought Benjamin Saves might have got to the lead, but it's actually Saves' teammate there, the 233 of Cale Braden, that's ahead of Braden Carter. That'd be something. Team tactics coming to play here in this last bit here. Oh my, Carter almost got into Cale Braden, and that very well could have handed Saves the win here. That would have been absolutely insane. But it's the final 2 corners here, and this is going to be a big win. Good points haul here today in Moto 1. As the first moto here at the Grand Prix of Russia goes to Braden Carter as he takes the checkered flag out front. Benjamin Saves will indeed pick up second, just holding off Colby Eagland. And Tyler Lang, valiant effort through the field to come home in 4th and salvage some good points here. Only going to lose 7 points to Carter. And that gap now down to 19 points between the two of them with still 7 motos of the season left to run. Hubbard crosses the line 5th. Dickerson's going to pick up a 6th after getting that whole shot. Luke Sullivan coming through. He's going to pick up 7th. 8th will go to Ben Seberg. 9th is going to go to Payson Johnson. 10th will go to Tomic. Oh, okay. I was going to say if Tomic led 2/3 of the moto and didn't finish inside the top 10, I think he was going to uninstall the game. But he's going to finish 10th here. He is obviously going to be disappointed with this because I think he probably believes he could have won that moto, but he'll end up 10th. Cooper Hunt, 11th. Trent Shepard is going to end up P12. Alex Kerr trying to hold on to 13th, should do so ahead of Dylan Copeland. Ethan Gerst in 15th, 16th for Noah McLaughlin. 17th right now is Owen Hillman. 18th is Nathan Prin. He's down. 19th, Cale Braden already finished, as we saw, and Cavacuti was 20th. So we're waiting for everybody to funnel on through. Copeland comes across in 14th. 15th goes to Gerst. Coming down here to the checkered flag. And it looks like Hillman's actually going to pick up 16th here. So McLaughlin was down. McLaughlin drops to 17th. And Nathan Prin will bring this one home. P18, and we'll get some cuts here. There we go. Any positions change? Ooh, Tomic does fall outside of the top 10. Cooper Hunt gets Tyron Tomic on cuts for P10. And that was it. Everything else inside of the top 20 stayed the same. So Braden Carter wins Moto number 1 of the Russian Grand Prix. And now we have an intermission. So this is a little 5-minute break. This is the moment in time as well where I try to interact with the chat as much as I can. I know I don't look at it too much during the races, but if you guys have any questions or any comments you guys would like to talk to me about, I'm here. I'm looking to chat. We're going to chat it up for a little bit, recap the race in the meantime as well. And yeah, go ahead. Let's chit-chat it up. Russian Grand Prix MX2 Race 1 is done. Braden Carter was your winner. Benjamin Saves finished up second. Colby Eaglin, your fastest qualifier, was third. Tyler Lang comes through for fourth. And Jacob Hubbard ends up inside the top 5. Now 19 points between championship leader Tyler Lang and Braden Carter, who clawed back 7 points in this moto. Payson Johnson, who entered third in the championship, is looking like he is losing too many points at this point to probably fight for this title. But we'll have to see whether or not he has something in store for the final 7 motos of the year. And Moto 2 coming up in the other side of this 5-minute break pretty quickly, to be honest with you. Alrighty, let's see what chat is saying. Griffin Cumbridge says, thanks for announcing all these times, Kellen. Thank you for joining all these times, Mr. Griffin Cumbridge. Appreciate it. Lachlan Levy wants to know, why don't you broadcast with Chris anymore? I'm assuming you mean Chris Riesenberg, of course, Checkers, legendary Checkers that he is. Checkers actually doesn't get involved with sim anymore. He finished up making some tracks back in 2000. I think 2019 was some of the last tracks that he released, and said sayonara. He was gone. Just basically was done with the game, I guess, at that point. And I know he, went through a couple life changes, but he's doing great, and I know that he's happy with everything in his life right now, I think. So just isn't around anymore. That's why we don't do broadcasts together. But I miss Chris, obviously. Chris was always a good time, and obviously had some good puns and other things on the broadcast to make it more interesting, but just not around anymore. Zooks wants to know, hi Kellen, wanted to thank you for all your older tip videos. I'm new to the game and have shaved a lot off my laps. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad to hear that my tips are helping out, to be honest with you. I always wondered whether or not I was giving out the best information. I feel like some people probably could have either said it better or told it better when I was doing some of those tutorial videos, but I'm glad that you found some solace in them and that they helped you along the way. That was my intention, obviously, to help anybody out that was new to the game, to get better and figure stuff out a little bit easier. So glad to hear it, and thanks for the kind words. Danger Zone 12, Kellen, who is the most dominant rider in any motorsport? Rider or like driver, I guess you mean too? I don't know. I mean, there's definitely some people that won a lot of races and stuff. Like you look at someone like Giacomo Agostini, who I was talking to my coworkers about today. He went like 4 years from the late 50s into the 60s where he won every single race he entered. And he's a 15-time world champion on a street bike, still alive to this day. He's a huge ambassador for MotoGP these days. But I would say if you're talking about most dominant, you have to think about something like that. 4 straight years without losing a race. Like, are you kidding me? Brandon Hanaway, I know JW just posted an article about the pointing out of Jeremy Martin and the rule in general. What do you think about the rule? Yeah, I got into I wouldn't say an argument, but a debate with Wygant today. He's obviously my coworker, so we just always chit chat. But he was, basically telling me that like the 250 class is the way it is because the manufacturers are so into the ideology of winning that like no other factor really matters. And like he even said that like you could take the 250s basically off TV and it wouldn't change much. But I disagree. Like I thought that a big factor of why the 250s are so important and why manufacturers and sponsors and stuff put so much weight in it is because it gets the exact same amount of airtime as the 450 class. So there's literally nothing more special about it. The 450 champion goes 17 rounds, but the 250 class, you put pro circuit riders at the front of all 17 rounds in the 250 class, for example, you're getting the same exposure. So, sponsors and manufacturers and all that stuff, they're going to always flock to the 250 class because it's cheaper to sponsor a team and you get the same amount of exposure. So to fix the 250 class, I think you need to take them off TV or take them down to a minimal amount of TV, give them either just the main event on TV and then everything else be about the 450s, so you pump more money into the 450 class. That's my solution. And I think that's how you fix the point out rule as well, because then you can abolish it and say, look, if you want more money, you want to move up to the 450 class, that's where you got to go. Instead of making $500,000 in the 250 class, you can go make $700,000 in the 450 class to finish in 11th. But obviously you can't do that right now. There's people finishing 11th in the 450 class that aren't making any money. So from that side, I think the point out rule is stupid, but I get it why it exists right now. And yeah, so. NP17 says, do you think Roxy can win outdoors? Nope. Sorry. I think Tomac's winning outdoors. Vin Flipping, I watch your videos so much. I love your vids. Keep up the good work. Thank you, buddy. Evan McLeod, I love how I can't do whips, but I can do backflips on MX Simulator. Same. I feel the same. Griffin Cumbridge. Let's see. Missed a bunch of stuff. Were there any two strokes in the race? No two strokes tonight for Wolf. Tyson, Mullins, Byron. So Tyson Fresquez doesn't race anymore because he didn't have a computer for a couple years and then just got out of the game. Jesse Mullins was banned for like a whole year for some DDoS attacks and some key sharing that he did. And then Byron just retired, yeah. So let's see. Give Brody Jenner a little shout out. Had a decent crash and got 3rd-degree burn. Just got out of the hospital. Ooh, that's tough for Brody Jenner. Yeah, he's racing tonight. Shout out Brody Jenner. Good job making the show. Hopefully he can do some good riding here in the second moto. Maybe score some points. Vin Flipping wants a shout out. Sure, buddy. Why not? I don't believe Russ Chapman's banned for life. Race Factory has a history of letting in people that have done some pretty bad things back into racing year after year, so I don't think Chapman's gone forever. All right, folks. Thanks for all the questions. Appreciate it, but let's go racing here. MX2 Race 2 on the gate. JLV is going to get the heck out of the way, and we're going to drop this gate and find out who's going to pick up that racetech.com whole shot. Big contact down the inside. Sullivan went down, as did a couple others, and it's going to be Nathan Prynn picking up the Racetech.com whole shot award away from Ethan Gerst, Dylan Copeland, Colby Eaglin's up here, Tyler Lang with a good start, Isaiah Dickerson also up here on the 260 as well. Ben Seberg's got a good start. Benjamin Saves is up here. Oh, contact, and Lang is down. Lang got together with Copeland. Tomich with a good start as well. Did not see Braden Carter. I think he may have gotten collected in some of that melee going into the first corner. So it is Prynn, the Frenchman. Not a good first moto at all. Unfortunately for Prynn this year, he's been so fast, but he seems rapidly inconsistent. Sometimes he'll win a moto, finish second in a moto, whatever, and then follow it up with a 13th, 15th, or outside of the points kind of moto. Right now trying to win the second moto after a dreadful first moto. So it is French rider from Australian rider, Tomich, moving into second early on. Dylan Copeland is in third. Alex Kerr, Ethan Gerst, and there is Braden Carter. So Carter actually did get a pretty good start. We kind of missed him going through all that scrum a little bit. And with Lang going down, this is going to set up Carter for a great day here. If he can go to the front early and perhaps go 1-1 on the day, that would be huge for the number 18 QM1 rider. Oh, man, Kerr goes down. That's a tough spot there. Gerst goes by, and a couple other riders pile in. I think I saw maybe a QM1 rider hit the deck as well. So 6.5 seconds off the lead is Carter, as it's still Prynn, Tomich, Carter now up to third. Gerst is now fourth. Noah McLaughlin's up to fifth. Shepard sixth. Dickerson seventh. Alex Kerr drops to eighth. Cale Braden is ninth. And Dylan Cavacuti inside of the top 10. Nygren 11th. Eaglin 12th. 13th for Cooper Hunt, 14th Hubbard, 15 McDaniel, 16 Jackson, 17 Plessinger, 18 Lang, 19 Seberg, and 20 Brian Brinker, Sullivan, Copeland. Benjamin Saves is up front early. He's way back. Brody Jenner's back here. Owen Hillman, Sebastian Racine, Jonathan Alexander, Fernando Andrade, Mac Holmes, Payson Johnson with a terrible start. Ryder Gwynn, Chris Post, Colt Hans, Daniel Paz, and Brady White back here with Nick Tomasunas bringing up the rear. We missed a couple other people going through here, I believe. Joe Wagner was mixed in, and down once again goes Benjamin Saves. Peek back out front and see it's still Prin. Prin and Tomich, Carter, Gerst, Dickerson, Shepard, Kerr, Cavacuti, Braden. Good battle kind of brewing here between Cavacuti and Cale Braden with Brandon Nygren off the back of them. Braden dropping down the hill right behind Dylan Cavacuti. I love this back section. So flowy. These guys make it look so effortless as well. A lot of fun to watch. Maybe we'll get a couple more dualies in here for the MX2 racing is over here tonight. Kerr and Shepard, nose to tail here. Trying to run down Dickerson, who's all over Ethan Gerst. Oh, Dickerson down! Oh, no, he clipped on that hay bale on the landing, so funneling around him. 3 riders go by. Is he going to lose a 4th spot, perhaps? Just does lose that 4th spot to Nygren, but might hold off Hubbard, perhaps. Bar to bar on this tabletop. Dickerson lays it over hard and hits Hubbard with his head. Hubbard goes down. I never understand how the physics work there, where JLV, oftentimes the person who's not really doing something that's over dramatic ends up going down in that situation. But Dickerson scrubbing hard, clips his head on the rear tire of Hubbard, and Hubbard goes down instead. So Dickerson going back to work, trying to get around Brandon Nygren here. Might just do so around the outside here. It's going to be bar to bar, dropping down the hill. Look at that scrub by Dickerson. Dualies? Kinda. Nice little dual flick there. Dualies? Nope, Nygren doesn't lay it over. So things have settled down pretty quickly here. It's still Prin. Oh, Tomich just went down. That's Carter going by. Tomich on the backside of this wall jump trying to get going as through goes Ethan Gerst, and Tomich going to get going in 4th. So Carter already up to 2nd, and with Tyler Lang down in 15th. Boy, this is looking like a good night here for Braden Carter. If he can win this second moto, at the very least, that gap is going to be down to 16 between him and Tyler Lang for the lead of the World Championship. But crucially, a 1-1 performance for Braden Carter. Big shot of confidence heading into the final 3 Grand Prix of the season. Got to run down Nathan Prin, though, and that is no easy task. You give Prin some fresh air, and man, he is fast. Talked about this comparison before, but in a sense, he reminds me a little bit of a young Alexis Leclerc, though Leclerc never went through the 250 class. He just went straight to the 450 class because he kind of came out of nowhere, dominating stock tracks, and then started racing. But Leclerc, oftentimes, you gave him a start and he would just take off, and seemed like it was pretty easy for him to win. But early days Leclerc, you put him with the third or fourth place start, he just couldn't get the ball rolling, and it was a disaster. A lot of crashing, contact, just didn't seem to have the racing wits just yet. And not to say Prin doesn't have it, but it does seem so far that when he gets good starts, he can run up front no problem, but he just does not have that same gritty charge through the field ability that we've seen from guys like Carter, guys like Lang, Payson Johnson, to name a few. So Carter back here in second, going to try to take advantage of any misfortune from Prin and try to go into the lead. Gerst is in a solid third right now ahead of Shepard. Dickerson's up to fifth. Tomic has dropped back to sixth. Eaglin is now seventh. Kerr eighth ahead of Hubbard, Cavacuti, and Sullivan. Cavacuti was off the track there, so let's see if Sullivan maybe takes advantage of him as well. And Cavacuti is closed all up onto Hubbard as well, so not trying to get past here is the number 177. In fact, might be doing the passing himself, and he will down the inside of Hubbard. Can he shut the door in the next corner? He does. Hubbard tries to swing wide. Not going to quite work out in his favor, though, and Cavacuti just moves him right out of the way, gets on by, so he does not have an opportunity to get past here by Luke Sullivan. Instead, he's going to go after Alex Kerr. Kerr trying to close up on Tomic. It's all kind of according together here. And Trent Shepard just off the front of this group. So we got good 6 riders or so together here. And at any point they could take a big chunk of points towards themselves or away from each other depending on who crashes. Because somebody's going to crash. This is MX Simulator after all. It's not going to be clean racing from here until the end of the race. If it were, one of these guys might actually win the race. So it's about avoiding that crash for any one of these riders. Hubbard trying to get that power down. It's a drag race up the hill with Sullivan alongside of him. Sullivan on that 11 machine tries to get to the inside, but Hubbard shuts the door hard, so Sullivan's going to cut back underneath to try to scrub this jump down a little bit better. Seemingly got the landing a little bit better. Now can he make the second one happen too? Hubbard kind of all over the place, trying to get Cavacuti as well. And into the mix comes Payson Johnson out of nowhere. So Johnson on the 351, absolutely flying up to this group. He just came from literally out of nowhere, and suddenly he's off the back of this one. Might have a move lined up around the outside of Sullivan's going to try to go to the inside here in this corner. Does he make that pass stick? Yes, he does. He shuts the door on Sullivan. Nicely done. And now, trying to get around the 75 of Hubbard. Both of them lay it over on the table, and then once again, going up the step up. Johnson cuts back underneath. Double and then table across, but doesn't quite get the drive down the hill and might get passed back by Sullivan. Oh, that was close. I don't know how they didn't make contact. And meanwhile, off the back of this group comes Tyler Lang. This is really turning into quite the freight train here, because Payson Johnson, Tyler Lang have caught them all and are trying to weave through them at the same time as they're battling amongst each other. Johnson launches down the hill over Hubbard, gets that pass done. Lang, just trying not to get caught up with the melee, has actually dropped off this a little bit, so he's let Sullivan have a gap. Johnson still trying to make that pass happen on Hubbard. Finally gets it done, and might get Cavacuti, who's off the track as well. Let's see if he can get it done. Cavacuti's trying to go around the long way here. That is a dreadfully long way because Johnson made it look easy. Cavacuti crosses up, though. And somebody was off the track. Look at inside. Sullivan gets around Hubbard, and Lang trying to slice into there as well. 5 riders in the air off the same jump here. Oh, just a filthy scrub there from Lang. Oh, and Hubbard gets into the back of a lagging Luke Sullivan there. Sullivan lags out, and Hubbard gets right into the back of him. So Johnson's finally got through all these guys. Now it's Lang's turn to try to go through. Jumping down the hill, Lang trying to go around the long way around the outside. Sullivan peeks inside of Cavacuti. They're going to go bar to bar coming down the hill. Could this be an opportunity for some dualies? Oh, Sullivan lays it over, but Cavacuti just goes long. Sullivan goes short. And in the end, they just settle back into their group. So let's change up what's going on up front. It's Carter to the lead now. Nathan Print has gone down and is dealing with pressure from Isaiah Dickerson. So Braden Carter in such a good position suddenly. Going 1-1 here today, definitely a possibility as Eaglin tries to close up on this group as well. Tomic still in P5. I just love what's going on with this battle back here. Johnson just got around Kurz. Sullivan closing up on them. Lang just got Cavacuti. So Cavacuti has to go back to work, and Lang just trying to charge through the field. Sullivan just got sideways. He's trying to go up to Kerr. And Pace and Johnson setting sail ahead of these guys. So Dickerson and Print's gone back to the lead. Carter just went down again. So Carter coughs up the lead. We've got a 3-rider battle out front. It is Prin, Carter, Dickerson, 1, 2, 3, and suddenly what looked like a pretty comfortable gap for Carter has gone all the way back to nil as he has either gone down or done something dramatic to cough up the lead again to Nathan Prin. "14 minutes down, 16 minutes, and 2 laps left to go." That's a lot of time for these guys to either make it all stick or go completely awry. And if you're Carter in this situation, I'd have to imagine he's got to try to play it a little bit safe to some degree. He does not want to crash his way back behind Lang. Of course, he wants to go 1-1. He wants to claw as many points back away as he possibly can. But the last thing he wants to do is push too hard, go down several times, and Lang, able to capitalize on all that, goes through ahead of him. Prin down on the wall jump. Didn't see it. He just appeared over the backside of that jump, but Nathan Prin down with the lead. Braden Carter goes to the front. Isaiah Dickerson's trying to slice in there, make something happen. Curious to know team dynamics. I don't feel like Dickerson and Lang are quite cordial. Let's just say that. But I don't know that they dislike each other. I have no idea exactly of that team dynamic. But Dickerson could help his teammate out here a little bit. I don't know if he'd put Carter on the ground, but he'd definitely like to try to go around him for the lead and put some points in between him and that race victory. Carter trying to hold the lead. Dickerson settles in behind. Here's Eaglin now. He's suddenly in the mix. Tyron Tomic has Nathan Prin now right behind him after Prin got up from his crash. So Tomic remounts or is in 4th ahead of Prin, who remounted in 5th. Oh, Tomic absolutely laid over filth on that table. And then Prin follows up by doing some filth of his own. And then an Oppo whip kind of thing. That was full-blown dualies right there. They weren't exactly side by side, but you got an Oppo whip out of Tomic and then a good standard whip out of Nathan Prin. That was such beauty to watch out of both of them. And that's Carter coming up the hill alongside of him. So Carter's copped up the lead. And he's alongside Prin suddenly. Man, Braden Carter is just coming unglued a little bit here. He had it all to play twice. Had the lead. And has faltered both times. And at this point, like I said, he's just got to play it safe, I think. He just cannot afford to lose points to Lang in this championship fight. Tomic, Prin, Carter, drag racing up the hill. Carter! Oh my goodness, Prin cross jumped a little bit. I thought Carter might got into the back of him. Stays up though. And lives to fight another day. All three of these guys laying over nice whips. Let's see if Carter is able to size something up into this corner. He's going to go around the outside, but Prin rips the middle rut there, then blows the next corner, so Carter takes full advantage of that. Let's see if Prin gets on. He is still ahead of Payson Johnson, Luke Sullivan. Alex Kerr just went down, gave Tyler Lang a position, so Carter still plenty of time to work with. But change for the lead after Carter went down allows Dickerson to the front. And Dickerson trying to come through and win this thing. These overalls are going to be kind of all over the place right now. Dickerson, I believe in that first moto, ended up 6th. So 6-1 for him. Eagland, I think, was even behind him, right? He was in 7th. So 7-2 perhaps. Looking like Colby Eagland might end up with that. I'm actually going to pull these up so I don't completely botch this and I can maybe get these overalls right, because it's going to be complete scatterbrains. But we'll see whether we can figure it out or not. All right, so in race number 1, Eagland actually finished 3rd, so he'd be going 3-2 right now. But, oh, Tomic down, and Prin has to ride over top of him. We've lost Carter in this battle, so he is now having to come through. He's behind Payson Johnson even. Actually, he's behind Sullivan, and he's down. He's trying to get up alongside Lang. Carter and Lang suddenly together. That is exactly what I was talking about. Braden Carter was in a position to maybe win this moto as Eagland goes to the lead, and Carter and Lang just went down. Eagland has taken over the lead from Dickerson. So much is happening on the track right now. Eagland now in a great position to win this overall if he can go 3-1 here today. And oh, Dickerson getting sideways in the rollers, loses time. Prin now up into 3rd. Tomic finds himself in 4th. Payson Johnson is 5th. Luke Sullivan is in 6th. Braden Carter's up to 7th. Cavacuti is now in 8th. Hubbard is 9th. And Tyler Lang is back to 10th. So that's a 3-point gain right there for Carter. But oh my goodness, it could be so much more. Just needs to kind of corral it all together at this point. Casing that jump down the hill just a little bit. Trying to run down his teammate Sullivan, who, if I'm not mistaken, would probably let him get the points. If I remember correctly, at Thunder Valley even, Carter needed one of his teammates to let him go at the finish line, and I believe it was Sullivan who let him go. Obviously, still a long ways to go here, 10 minutes and 2 laps left to play, so that's not exactly 100% how it will shake down, but it's just something to keep in mind if it comes down to that in the last couple corners. Dylan Cavacuti just off of the back of these guys right now in P8. And Lang down the inside of Hubbard trying to get up into 9th. He will get that position done. Hubbard concedes the position. Lang trying to fight his way forward here. Remember, Lang was P4 in that first moto. Lang, Hubbard, Kerr. Got Hillman and Seberg battling back here. It's a best of the Brits battle going on. Ethan Gerst ahead of Cooper Hunt. Trent Shepard is battling it out with Brandon Nygren. Cale Brayton, kind of a lonely ride ahead of Benjamin Saves, who just went down. The 124 of Noah McLaughlin going on through. Fernando Andrade, first we've seen of the Brazilian rider all day. He's up inside of the points right now. Or I'm sorry, he's not in the points right now. He's 21st, so we've already gone through the top 20. But have not seen Fernando Andrade much today, and there he is, so that's kind of cool. So up front again, Colby Eagland checks in out front onto lap number 14, 3.5 second lead on Isaiah Dickerson, 21 minutes and a half complete. 8 minutes and 3:30 seconds to go. 3:30 seconds, yeah, there we go, Kellen. Good England, always good stuff there. Lang is ahead of Carter. Carter behind Lang. Prince splitting the difference. Oh man, this is not exactly what Carter needed in the second moto. This has been Carter's MO, unfortunately, this year. The opportunities have come knocking on the door for Braden Carter to take full advantage of. leading this moto twice, in a position to potentially go 1-1 with Lang suffering down in the field and needing a miracle ride to get up into a good position like he did in the first moto again. And Carter has systematically crashed his way back to this position at this point. And Lang, just like he always does, seems to find his way up inside of the top 5 before the race is over and salvaging good points every single time, which is what nobody else has been able to do, including Braden Carter. Prin laying it over, trying to put some pressure here on Mr. Colby Eagland. Or I'm sorry, on Lang. Got the names all mixed up right now. I'm just a complete mess talking about this race. Prin really putting some pressure here on Lang. Might try to get him back. Wouldn't that be something? Oh, contact! Prin off the side of the track. Carter launches down the hill. Title combatants battling it out. Let's see if Carter has a move lined up down the inside here. He's going to try to scrub up the hill. Lays it down, tries to stay lower, and just shorts the jump just a little bit, so he has to settle in right behind him. Nathan Prin exiting stage right out of this battle, leaving the 2 championship rivals to go at it. 19 points provisionally between them. As it runs currently, that would open back up to a 20-point difference, with Lang gaining an extra point in this moto on Carter. Have to wonder if and when Carter starts playing a little bit of games here, trying to get some points clawed away from Lang. Does he rough him up a little bit? Be interesting to see how this dynamic plays out between these two. Lang seemingly got through the switchbacks a lot better, but then Carter gets the inside run a lot better. It's a drag race up the hill. Carter to the inside. Contact! They're both down. They're both off the bike. There's the contact we expected out of the rivals. And through goes Hubbard. It's going to be Carter getting up first. Lang now behind him. And they only lost 1 position between the two of them. Lang obviously losing 2 positions. So in the end, Carter actually netted the same amount of positions that he was already in, but ends up ahead of Lang. So Lang has to fight back now. That was a bit curious. It seemed like Carter had a nose on the inside there, and I'm sure each of them would argue that it was the other person's fault, but Lang taking a rather normal racing line there when someone was already existing on the inside of the corner. Bit overzealous, but I see what he was trying to do there. You got to try to close the door, especially in a situation where you're battling your championship rival in this situation. And now they are all over Hubbard once again. Carter peeks inside. Let's see if he gets the move done. Hubbard over top, holds it. Lang almost got back down there. And these three are so close together. Carter trying to get that drive up the hill. You can see Tomic just disappeared out of screen ahead of these 3 riders. Almost 3 wide over the wall jump. Carter's trying to go the long way. Lang's going to take the short way down the inside. Carter launches up the hill around the outside, trying to carry momentum down into this one. Hit the wall jump. And does he get the pass done on Hubbard? Not quite, and Hubbard goes to shut the door. Lang goes for a 2-for pass, and he might get it done. Hubbard goes down, and Carter loses out in the process. Lang makes the pass. Tomic was down, so Carter and Lang both gain spots back as they're trying to fight each other up the hill. And I believe that just moved them up to 5th and 6th, respectively. This is intense championship battle going on right here. Obviously, a lot between them in the championship with that provisional 20-point gap as they run, but if you're Carter here, this is do or die. You've got to start making these points back. You've got to make these passes happen, and he gets to the inside and plows into Lang. Hubbard tries to go around the outside to avoid the contact, and he's going to end up on the inside of him. Look at Carter hop the inside, and he goes flying off the side of the track. He's down into the crowd. Carter imploding a little bit here. And Hubbard able to squeak on by. Tyler Lang is just holding his breath at this point that he stays on 2 wheels with all this chaos going on around him. I can't believe Carter 2 times in a row kind of went for a kill move. I thought that he might size it up a little bit better than he did. He really just took the most inopportunity in spots I felt like he could try there. So resetting it a little bit, it is Eaglin from Dickerson, Payson, Johnson, Sullivan, and Lang now moves up to 5th, Hubbard 6th, and Carter 7th. But we might have a battle for the lead brewing, folks. Dickerson has caught up to Colby Eaglin, 27.5 minutes in, 2.5 minutes, and 2 laps left to go. And the battle for the lead is on here at Orleanic in Russia. Down the hill, Dickerson trying to close up. Lappers, Eaglin sideways somehow stays in the lead after being laid over in the corner. Fernando Andrade, the number 17, is the rider ahead of them. Benjamin Saves behind them. They are all lap traffic, of course. And Dickerson blows the inside rut horrendously and just avoids Andrade as he goes through. So Eaglin able to open up that gap just a little bit more. And we have this battle brewing again. Carter is catching up to Lang, and he's doing so in a hurry, and he goes down just as we see him trying to close that gap down, pushing too hard, blows the inside rut, and oh my goodness, it is coming unglued for Carter. He's losing more and more of these championship points as Tyron Tomic goes by. And Carter just went down again. This is really not his day at the moment. Eaglin and Dickerson still trying to battle it out. Can Dickerson close up on Eaglin? He's not going to have to. Big mistake out of Eaglin, and Dickerson to the lead with a minute left on the clock. I believe time will expire before they get back to the flag. It's going to be awfully close where they are on the racetrack already. I think time will expire. It'll be close. Brody Jenner getting out of the way there. Eaglin trying to keep it close just in case. 20 seconds. Yeah, I don't think they're getting to the flag again, so this is going to be 2 laps to go next time by. And Dickerson just trying to hold off Eaglin and maybe win this moto. It's not going to be enough for the overall. A 3-2, which Eaglin is sitting on, beats a 6-1. Just barely. But yeah, 30 minutes gone. 2-lap board coming out right now. I mean, that is about as close as it gets. 10 seconds past the 30-minute mark. 2-lap board coming out. Eaglin still second. Johnson a solid third. Sullivan looks like he's going to be safe in fourth. Tyler Lang has survived the barrage of attacks from Braden Carter to hold on to fifth. Hubbard back in sixth. Tyron Tomic is still holding down seventh. Carter has dropped all the way back to eighth. So the saving grace for Carter here is that 5 to 8 is only 3 points, which, like a 1 to 2 gap, he's only losing 3 points. It's as if he's finishing second in the moto behind Lang here. If he could close up and make a pass more or two, obviously limits the damage. But that saving grace is that it is only a 1 point gap from each position, 5 on back. So he's doing himself a bit of a favor by not being too far down the order. But as it stands right now, it would be a 22-point provisional lead in the championship for Tyler Lang. So 4 points gained back in the standings for Carter on Lang. I'm sure he would like it to be more, but he'll have to live to fight another day. Eaglin still eyeing up Dickerson. Dickerson made a mistake. Eaglin is trying to close that gap down. And as the white flag is about to come out, this is going to be a terrific battle down to the flag. Eaglin doesn't need this to win the Grand Prix. He is in a position to win the overall with a 3-2 as it stands right now. But maybe, just maybe, he wants to do it with authority and win this thing. White flag out. Dickerson takes it. Eaglin right on his heels, though, as they come down by the mechanics area one more time. I think Eaglin in this case, he's going to put a good lap together, but I don't think he's going to try anything. Well, maybe I stand corrected, because I think he could go down and still get second here. So maybe he does push that little extra to try to get these points. Drive up the hill. Eaglin got a little swap, so Dickerson opens it back up a little bit. Got a lap rider between them. That's Alex Kerr. To go down the back stretch here, Eaglin just trying to keep it close. Another thing that comes into play here is JLV's penalty system. If Dickerson had gone off the track at all during this race and gained an advantage while off track, the penalty system that we often refer to as cuts will add to his total race time and lawyer win the race victory over to Eaglin. So if you just get close in this case, Dickerson has some cuts, could win the race on cuts. But as it stands right now, it seems like Dickerson is going to survive the battle as he's got 2 more corners to go down the back straightaway. Eaglin is going to get it close, but it's just going to be a little bit too little, too late for the number 57 machine. But here it is. Final sequence of corners down the hill. Isaiah Dickerson, he didn't convert on the win in the first moto, but he's going to come through and win the second moto of the Russian Grand Prix. Colby Eaglin has won the overall here in Russia with a 3-2 performance. Will it be a win? 7/10 down at the line. We'll have to see. Payson Johnson will indeed finish up third in this one. Sullivan should get fourth, barring a crash here late. And Lang going to get some points back in his pocket against Braden Carter in the championship fight as he tries to hold on to fifth here with a couple corners to go. Down the hill, and it will indeed be Sullivan crossing fourth, fifth there for Lang. Sixth will go to Hubbard. Seventh, Tomic is down. This might be an opportunity. Carter getting some points back. Tomic trying to get back on the track, but Carter hops over him. Oh, and then Carter, he saved it, but Tomic goes to the inside and passes him back. Carter trying to get there. He's going to send it down the hill. Tomic is going to be in a prime position to defend here, but Carter down the hill in the final corner. Tomic 7th, 8th, Carter, 22-point championship gap. We'll have to wait and see if cuts change that. Dylan Cavacuti is going to come across here in 9th. And P10 will go to Seaberg. Lap traffic amidst everything here. Cooper Hunt going to come down. He's going to finish up in 11th here. Good ride for the 304. 2 good motos here actually for him today. Owen Hillman ends up 12th, 13th for Brandon Nygren. 14th is going to go to Trent Shepard here. And 15th will be Dylan Copeland because 16th Daniel Paz was a lap down. 17th Cale Braden. 18th for Alex Kerr. 19th Jonathan Alexander. And 20th was Quentin McDaniel as we await for cuts. Just have one more rider still yet to finish here. We'll go through cuts quickly and then go to a quick commercial break. Cuts are in. And it looks like, Carter did get Tomic on cuts for 7th, so that's some points gained for Carter there. It's a 21-point championship lead then for Lang. And Dickerson does hang on to the win. In fact, Eaglin had 10 seconds of cuts. Dickerson had 6 seconds of cuts and would not have swapped positions had they actually finished the opposite direction around. It would have actually been Dickerson still winning the moto, but it is overall to Colby Eaglin here in Russia, and that's going to send us to a quick break here. Don't touch that bar. We're heading to a little intermission. We'll be back on the other side of this break with more action. You're watching the 7th round of the MXSGP World Championship here at Russia. Hello and welcome back to Orleanic in Russia. It is the MXSGP of Russia, round 7 of the Race Factor Gaming Grand Prix Championship here in MX Simulator. My name is Kellen Brauer, bringing you guys the action in the MXGP class here. MX2 race just wrapped up here a moment ago. Tyler Lang entered as the points leader over Braden Carter in that one, but obviously we saw how things just shook down there. What we want to focus in on is this 450 standings. Alexis Leclerc up on Jack Haley by 23 points. Adam Holm, your defending champion, a further 34 points, I should say, behind Jack Haley. So it's really between Leclerc and Haley for this World Championship at this point. But this track here, Orleanic, on the southern very tip of Russia, 1,690 meters in length, 1.05 miles total. Pretty fast racetrack, short lap times, but some really technical sections as well mixed in that's going to challenge the guys. And a beautiful part here of southern Russia, just at the tip of the Black Sea, and about 80 miles away from Sochi, which hosted the 2010 Winter Olympics, and about 800 miles outside of Moscow, so pretty far away from the center of Russia. But here's a lap of the racetrack as we head up to the top of the hill over the finish line jump first time through by the mechanics area. Long drive down here and then hard on the brakes to try to get stopped for this wall jump. Really technical section right there. And then drop down into this gully. You don't want to go too deep. We saw some riders go long and fall off there, then up this little race tech plateau, all the way carrying speed across this, and then drop down. Don't want to go over the bars like I almost did right there, and then hit this wall jump. Up the other side again, onto another plateau, but then a really technical switchback down the hill. You see guys trying to go inside here. That's going to be the optimal way to go down it. Then down at the bottom of the hill, guys tucking pretty far inside here as they get to drive back up. This little Tiger Designs flick table at the top of the hill. Go through this little gully out the other side, and then you get on top of another plateau, but then you drop down, and then this very technical table triple section in the back. Really tall jumps. Got to scrub them hard and stay low to get the power back down, and then you want to try to very, very carefully triple over this table. I muffed it up, but you kind of downside the table, get to the inside of this corner, and then U-turn to the top of the hill again, drop back down into this little gully out the other side. And then a wave section here as you go through the MXS lobby waves. Try to carry some speed here, maybe double as you weigh all of this little wall jump, drop down on the other side of it. Hairpin right into a tight 90-degree left, and then a long flowy back section here. Very fast section of the racetrack. Big table down the hill, and carry a lot of speed down here. Get this big tabletop as well. Down the other side, and then the step up into the back. A lot of speed all the way through here, essentially. Then get hard on the brakes, get this hairpin done very cleanly. In and out of this little dip. Out the other side, and then inside, outside options, inside, double table, outside, just triple over the entire thing. Down by the racetrack hole shot area, and up over the finish line jump for a lap here at Orleanic in Russia. Well, again, glad you guys could join us here. MX1 action coming up here at the MXSGP of Russia. We had the 250 class go off. The MX2 class was fantastic, and now we're looking to see what's going to happen in this 450 division. But before we do that, let's go ahead and take a look at these qualifying times. They ran over a couple days stretch. Alexis Leclerc, of course, with the points lead and the fastest time, 1:39.1 to a 1:39.3 out of Adam Holm. Walter Gebhardt at 1:39.4. Everybody else 1:40 on back. And you know, interestingly enough, I'm not seeing Jack Haley's name. Oh, there he is. He's down in 18th, 1:43.101 for Haley. So not looking good, about 4 seconds off the pace of Leclerc. Maybe didn't get much time to practice here, as we're going to go straight into the motos because not enough people ran times to even have a consolation race. So that's why I'm trying to get through this quickly, and we can jump in the server, hopefully catch the start of these motos. But it's the MXGP of Russia here at Orleanic, and we're going to see whether or not Jack Haley has anything for Tyson Fresquez. Or Tyson Fresquez, Alexis Leclerc. I don't know, guys. I am just a mess tonight. I'm all tore down. By the way, now would probably be a good time to mention, I should have mentioned this at the beginning of the broadcast back in the 250 class as well. I will not be here next week. There's supposed to be a Grand Prix, but next Monday night I will not be here. I think that's going to be a delayed broadcast. It might end up being Tuesday. More likely it'll end up Thursday after the National that week. But I am supposed to be going in to co-host the Pulp MX show next Monday, so I will not be here to call the race. If that changes, I'll let people know, but I just want to get that out there so that people do know that if you tune in next Monday expecting to see round 8 of the Grand Prix circuit, you will not see it. Instead, I will be at Steve Mathis' house, Pulp MX Studios, getting ready to do the Pulp show there. So Yep, just letting everybody know. Scooty Puff Jr.'s in chat. What's up, Scooty, my dude? How's it hanging tonight? Left, right, up, down, all around? All right. 37 riders going up here for 450 motocross moto number 1. All right, folks, if you aren't already excited here tonight at the MXSGP of Russia, well, let me be the first to invite you to get excited because we're about to go racing here. Orleanic in Russia. Alexis Leclerc trying to extend his championship lead. Everybody else trying to chase him in. It is the MXSGP of Russia live on Start Your Systems. Leclerc through the bales on the inside, trying to get to the corner first. There's some contact, and somebody went down hard on the MV Films ride, but Caden Speck around the outside grabs the Racetech.com Whole Shot Award. Leclerc second, Blakely third. Aaron Rockefeller just got landed on, somehow saved it. I think it was one of the BPC riders perhaps, or maybe Siebold on the Rockstar Husky going down. Kind of chaos mixed in here as everybody hits the wall jump first lap, and a lot of riders going down. That's going to be a tough spot. As I think that was Copeland or perhaps on the 708. No, that was 708. Kyle Carpenter, I believe, maybe, that just went down. Not seeing Jack Haley. No Jack Haley just yet. Sightings, we'll see. But Caden Speck leads. Haley down in P22. And I'd just be really curious whether he feels he's got enough track time to do something special here tonight and try to claw some points away. Otherwise, Leclerc really looking at an opportunity to extend his lead here in the World Championship standings as he's trying to go to the outside here of Caden Speck. Ends up becoming the inside of Speck, blew the rut, and Alexis Leclerc is already leading here in Russia. Speck drops back to second. Blakely now finds himself in third. Blakely not a teammate to Leclerc, though it may look like it. BPC versus the Rockstar Husky team, two different teams. Here's Blakely's teammate, Luke Magnetti. Braden Castellaneta, so we got a couple Nova GFX riders up front here. Eduardo Simos on the GSR LCQ Studios TM Factory Racing Machines got a good start up here as well. He's battling it out with Bryce Whelan and Austin Eklund. Ethan Parks just off the back here. Ash Deering, James Cohen, Brandon Holmes, all carrying some momentum into this. Oh, rider down. Was one of the Panini riders, I think. Adam Holm, your defending champion, coming through here. Which one of those Kawasaki's was it? Well, Deering was mixed up right there, so he was one of the riders that was down as well. And it was a Panini rider. Bryce Whelan was also down. So here is Jack Haley coming up the hill at the end of the first lap, and he has got his work cut out for him. I'm not sure. Some of these guys, it's a little bit different because Haley, I think, is putting a lot of effort into trying to win in the outdoor title this year. He's in a heated battle with Leclerc over there as well. Adam Holm has been on fire of late. But Haley might not be putting as much effort or detail into this Grand Prix championship. It's very common. I mean, honestly speaking, I think all of these guys have a vested interest in winning one or the other. I think Leclerc, it would obviously tell you that he would be interested in... I just unplugged my controller. That's why it's lagging so hard. Give me a second. Well, that's a big boof right there. I might have to re-log back into the server because that is atrocious lag. I'm not sure what is happening right now. And of course my controller is not going to recognize itself. See if I can disconnect and reconnect. This is dreadful. I hate when my controller does this. And it's just going to keep doing this, isn't it? Huh. What is happening? My game is literally broken right now. Okay, well, let's try to fix that. Sorry for this, folks. Technical difficulties. Sometimes it happens on the stream. I will do my best to make do with what we got here. Honestly, I have no idea what just happened. I moved my controller in my hand and then it became unplugged at the back. So that's my fault. Yeah, my controller is connected. But unfortunately, every single time my controller disconnects, I think it defaults to my keyboard, thinking that it is the player 1 controller or whatever. So now my controller's on player 2, which means it's not registering in game. So when I'm trying to select between people, yeah, it's not selecting anything. So I'm probably gonna have to go to my keyboard to change riders for the rest of the moto, but that's okay. We'll make it happen. Shout out RacerRat66 in chat saying Haley up to 11th at the 5-minute mark, trying to keep us updated. We used to, Race Vector Gaming had a gorgeous live timing system that you could go log into and check out, which is exactly what I would switch to right now if we had it, but I don't know what happened to that. Again, my apologies, everybody. This is a tad embarrassing if I do say so myself, but we'll get it sorted. The unfortunate part is that we do have to sit here and wait for all these bikes to load again. RacerRat66 in chat letting us know Holm and Gebhardt P9 and 10. No, I'm not getting DDoSed. Oh, sim takes forever to load when you need it to the most. MX Swimulator. Okay, 2 dots. 3 dots. 1 dot. Thought we were there. Thought that was it. Leclerc very far out in front. 2 dots. Give me that second dot. Oh, wait. 2 dots. Wait, why on your screen are you only seeing... That is really, really weird. It is lagging way behind on the broadcast. Huh? What the heck? Yeah, I'll have to have Spec send me his privateer stuff. More skins! Kid you not, even though there is a skins thread, which nobody uses, this has been by far the season that people have sent me more skins than ever. It is insane. I log on to Discord every Monday and Wednesday and have 25 new private messages for like, hey, sorry, my brother's cousin left my team. I had to update my skins because he changed his number 1 number up. And so I need to get a new pack that has 7 new gigabytes of stuff. So, thanks. Leclerc laying down 140s. I wish we could see it. That'd be great. Be quality stuff if we were watching Leclerc run 140s, but we're loading bikes. And it's done, which means I'm gonna have to disconnect and reconnect because I timed out of the server. And my controller is gonna be broken, so let's see if I remember my keyboard commands. Oh man. Oh no, okay, my controller worked, okay. Alright, we are back. Cameras are going to freak out for a second. Just watch this melee. And Leclerc is leading this race, 8:55. into this moto. Braden Castellaneta runs second. Caden Speck just crashed out of third, so Chase Blakely goes back by. Excuse me. Walter Gebhardt now up into fourth. Adam Holm is in fifth, and Jack Haley all the way up to sixth. Incredible ride for Jack Haley so far to get through the field. Unfortunately, we missed most of it. And again, I will just take the L there and apologize. But we're going to do whatever we can. To be honest with you, I think even the best computer on planet Earth would probably still have a tough time loading 40 scrammed skins in this game. It's just the nature of the beast. I used to never lag out of servers, even on high graphics, high track detail, blah, blah, blah. Like you can max out 40 players, blah, 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 all the skins. And I'd never lag out, as Gebhardt just went down with Blakely. The reason I'm lagging out now is because as everybody started making more paid skins, like there was no longer free bikes, free skins, free gear, free this, that. I mean, everybody now has it so that you have to pay for whatever it is that you're going to use. As soon as that model switched over, some people started ripping said skins and bikes and stuff like that. And so JLV introduced the Scram file, which has basically made it about impossible to rip off a SAF, which is what everybody was doing. And now it makes load times 7 times as long. So just the way it is. So let's do a quick little reset here. It is Leclerc leading, Castellaneta second, Holm third, Haley up to fourth. Gonzalez is now in fifth. Gebhardt has drifted back to sixth after that fall. Eklund runs in seventh, eighth for Ethan Parks, ninth for Luke Magnetti, and 10th for Chase Blakely. So good ride for Parks and Magnetti there. 11th for Caden Speck, 12th for Lewis Williams, as he almost gets ran into the back of there by Steve Harris. Steve Harris trying to go up the inside on the number 100. He'll stay in 13th, 14th, Brandon Holmes, 15th for Neil Wells, 16th for Ian Holmes, 17th now Jeremy Siebold, so it was the Rockstar Husky rider we saw going down early. Eduardo Simos just yarded out of 18th, so Trey Moore goes by, and then Kyle Carpenter also having a big yard sale, so it's just everybody going down in this first corner complex. So Austin Bear, Eduardo Simos, Jeremy Cohenauer. Cohenauer, I believe, was the rider we saw almost get the whole shot, then go down into the first corner. It was definitely an MV Films rider. I believe he is the only 450 MV Films rider out there right now. Adam Holm dealing with some pressure from Kevin Gonzalez. Through the wave section they go. And Haley's moved up to third now, so Haley charging his way forward now only has Braden Castellaneta between himself and Alexis Leclerc, but he also has 26 seconds between himself and Alexis Leclerc, so he is going to need a miracle to win this moto at this point. And Leclerc has seriously set sail at the front, so really we got to keep an eye on some of these midfield battles to provide us with some good content. Holm trying to close up on Walter Gebhardt, and I will mention, just because this is going to be something you guys will notice a little bit, these guys are going to look like they're kind of lagging through the ground just a little bit in some sections. Not all, but some sections you'll see it, and it'll look funky, and I get it. I think it sucks as well. The reason it's like that is because when I leave the server and load back in, it does not show how far the track is detailed. It gives me a fresh track that I'm looking at. So these guys have already dug the ruts out deeper than what I'm seeing, which means they're going through parts of the track that are still there for me. And it looks weird because they're kind of like lagging through it, but they're just digging out the rut deeper. So just letting you guys know, because you're going to see it. It's going to look weird in a couple places. Get that out there now. So it looks like Haley has moved up to second, but yeah, this gap is huge. Let's go on board with Leclerc for a second because he's running 140s quite consistently out here. 140.1 and a 140.6 last time by. 29-second lead, not even halfway into the moto, and he just did a 140.8. So let's listen to the master at work. So you notice something there that Leclerc just did. He's actually doubling down the hill after the rollers and trying to land on that inside roller and hook the inside right. He didn't get it this lap, but I do know that some of these guys can get it on occasion. I'm curious whether Leclerc is doing that specifically to gain a gap on Jack Haley behind him, or if he's just messing around at this point because his lead is so huge. Obviously got to be careful as he starts approaching lap traffic. Can't get mixed up with them, but he just did a 41.7. And indeed, Haley is actually closing just a little bit. It seems like Haley is actually running a bit of a hot lap here right now. He might lower that 141.2 fast lap that he laid down, get into the 140s or maybe even the 139s the way the gap has gone down. But we'll see here as he comes down to the the finish line jump, I should say. No, just did a 42.4 again. So actually not gaining time like I thought. 42.4 to a 41.7. I definitely thought Haley had gained a little bit of time. Look at Leclerc having to go through some lap traffic here. Racer would like to know how you activate the cameras. I make these cameras custom myself, so I don't know if they have a default camera file in the server. But all you need to do is, as long as you have toggle spy on, which I think you know how that works, Racer, but just hit tab until you're in free cam. So go to a different rider and then hit tab until you're in free cam, which is usually just the camera that like looks like it's looking at the starting gate, but you can obviously move it around. And then make sure your number pad is on, your num lock is on, and then hit number 1 on the number pad, and that'll switch to the default first camera, but it'll automatically go to whoever you're selected on. So if you hit sit dab, whatever your sit dab button is, it'll show which rider is on the screen. Like if I'm in cameras mode right now and I unsit dab, it doesn't show the rider anymore. And if I hit 0, then I'm out of camera mode. But if I hit 1, I'm in camera mode again, hit sit dab, and it goes back to Leclerc. So yeah, kind of a quick crash course. There's a more in-depth tutorial, I guess, on how cameras work and all that over at startyoursystems.com, but quick crash course there. Jack Haley still in second, Adam Holman third, Gebhardt is clawed up to fourth, and Blakely is now fifth as Castellanetta's dropped back to the sixth spot. Magnetti is in seventh, Gonzalez is in eighth, ninth for Eklund, and 10th for Parks right now. Seems like the best battle kind of brewing here in this 7, 8, 9 position. Magnetti and Gonzalez fairly close together here. See if Gonzalez is going to size something up as he tries to get to the inside of Magnetti going up the hill. Doesn't quite have the angle just yet as around the outside. Magnetti holds it on, but they're going to be bar to bar. Gonzalez going a little long here. Gets that power down, and then nice dually scrubs. Let's see if Gonzalez gets to this inside. He's going to check up and not go for the triple. Got to be careful around the outside. Eklund might get the pass done on him. Not quite there. So Eklund around the outside. Now going after Magnetti. Gonzalez trying to fight back alongside. It's a good three-rider battle here. Clean so far. No contact and a good charge forward from Eklund. Just another rider down right there. That might have been Blakely they just went by. Eklund seems like he is the man on the charge right now. Hate to switch from this battle, but it seems like Holm and Gebhardt are going at it for the 3 spot right now. Panini Motorsports number 5 versus the number 1 of atom.com, Adam Holm. And inside, Gebhardt gets the pass done. Moves around Holm to get up into third. Now back here with this Magnetti-Eklund battle. Eklund might have the pass done here. He tries to jump around the outside. Magnetti has this inside controlled, though. Eklund back to the inside, gets the pass done. And Magnetti has to settle in behind him and hold Gonzalez at bay. It was Chase Blakely that was down. He ends up getting behind these guys again. Caden Speck and Ethan Parks having a bit of a battle amongst each other as well. Jeremy Siebold having a tough go of it this moto, and I have to imagine it started with that contact off the finish line jump at the really second corner of the race there, where Siebold got kicked sideways off the track, set him back a long ways, and it's been just a uphill grind for him ever since. Back to this Holm-Gebhardt battle, because it seems like it's not quite over yet. Holm trying to remount an attack here a bit. Gebhardt almost went off the track right there, so Holm gains a little bit of time back. Gebhardt doing a good job keeping the number one machine at bay, though. Eklund has got a pretty good gap on Gonzalez. Blakely and Magnetti has lost some ground at this point. Little battle brewing between K Carp and Lewis Williams. Williams on that number 193, although it's the number 330 on the bike, but he is the number 193 SwapMotoLive.com machine ahead of Kyle Carpenter on the 708 Tiger Designs ride. Carpenter up the inside gets on by. Trey Moore on the privateer effort back here, holding on to a good spot on the 330, or on the 322, I should say. Getting some good points there. Eduardo Simos and Jet Wisdom is behind him. Steve Harris, Ash Deering, and is that Haley lapping them right there? Yes, it is. So these guys are now getting lapped by a second as Steve Harris goes down. Ian Holm over the finish line jump behind them. Moves up into the final points bank position, but then goes off the side of the track. Got to corral it back together, then almost over the bars there for Ian Holm. Behind these guys, it's Austin Bear, Steve Harris, Bryce Whelan, Dylan Long's back here, James Cohen, Caleb Hall, Jeremy Cohenauer with a rough night, Jason Stubbs, he's going down. Aaron Rockefeller's back here, Zach Fisher, Jeremy Wisdowski. Neil Wells is out of this, and he is P32. He was the most recent one to end his evening so far. As Alexis Leclerc continues to set sail at the front of the field. I have to wonder at this point, with the way things have gone outdoors so far for Leclerc, how much does he, if at all, regret the way that things shook down in Supercross, where he just straight up missed the first main event of the year and then just electively skipped the next 3 rounds of the championship and then came back with a win the very next round he raced. And won quite a few races, got a lot of good points. I think he ended up 4th in the championship at the end of it, but missing so much time at the beginning of the championship for whichever reason it was, cost him to not win the 2020 Supercross title and might just very well have a chance to sweep the GP and national championships outdoors this year, which has never been done. But if he were to do it, and had he put together a good Supercross season and maybe have won that, he would have put himself in the stupendously rare air of completing the trifecta, which nobody's ever done either. So interesting, his take on that situation. Obviously can't go back and change it, but try and do what he can to win both these titles now. Jack Haley still holding on to second. Walter Gebhardt all alone in third, as Adam Holm is pretty much all alone in fourth. Austin Eklund, though, is trying to charge up and catch him, though. Eklund can see the number 1 machine just ahead of him. Let's go on board with the number 24. There's a good ride here for Eklund, who is just consistently putting in some good laps. 43 dead is best, a 44.3 is most recent, but he just tucks the front wheel there. And because of that, he lost a spot to Castellaneta and has Chase Blakely breathing down his neck as well. Blakely trying to hop over top of him, might have a move around the outside because Eklund could not get the landing of the table done cleanly enough. So Blakely moves up into 6th and is setting sail after Castellaneta ahead of him to maybe end up inside of the top 5 before this is all said and done. He's still got a little under 4 minutes of time and a couple laps to work with, but he's already caught up to Castellaneta and putting the pressure on the 221 machine here. And Gebhardt's suddenly in the mix. Gebhardt made a big mistake, and Eklund's going to get a 2 for 3 wide over the step up. Gebhardt's trying to fight back and get in on these guys. Eklund tucks inside. Blakely hits him. Gebhardt gets plowed out of the way. And Braden Castellaneta just moved up into 4th because of all this. 7 seconds behind Adam Holm, who is your new 3rd place man. Gebhardt gets up. He's now 5th. Gonzalez moves up to 6th. Blakely is now 7th. And Eklund, who is fighting to maybe move into 4th, is now 8th, just ahead of Luke Magnetti, who is 9th. So that just completely switched upside down for the 24 machine, who was looking so good, and it just went so bad so fast. Ethan Parks rounds out the top 10 at the moment. Doing me a heckin' proud right now. Our lone SYS FamMX racing machine all season long. We've got... Man, I'm going to count this wrong. 9 riders on the team, 9 or 10 riders, and 1 is racing. I choose not to count myself, but is what it is. So working just about 28 minutes into this moto. Alexis Leclerc looking to pick up yet another moto win here and try to set himself up for the clean sweep here today. I think just like Lang in the MX2 division, he's trying to get this points gap extended to at least a moto distance, if not 2 motos, so he could clinch a round early, but he could also clinch a moto early if he continues on this success. Interesting to see that it seems like the 450 guys are looking at a total race time somewhere in the area of a whole minute faster than the 250s are putting in, because Leclerc's about to click on the lap number 19 and will not get the 2-lap board, unlike the 250 guys who lap 19 was the 2-lap board for them. And 29 minutes in now, so still has a whole minute on the clock before time is going to expire. He's going to cross at about 29:07 here. Jack Haley still 2nd. Adam Holm. Walter Gebhardt back up into 4th. Castellaneta. Blakely getting passed by Gonzalez. And Magnetti behind with Eklund. MC Andy Williams. CA 279, which is the old Canadian buckaroonies, and 279 of those. Head over to the local market and pick up some maple syrup. Buy myself a moose hat. Maybe a maple leaf or 2. But thanks for the money. I appreciate it. He says, how are you doing today? I'm doing fabulous. Hope you're doing well wherever you are. Ethan Parks back here ahead of Jeremy Siebold. Caden Speck just went over the bars. Brandon Holmes is going to take advantage of that to go on by. Lewis Williams, Ash Deering, Kyle Carpenter. Trey Moore ahead of Eduardo Simos. Seems like this might be the closest battle. Battle for 16th right now. I'm sorry, 17th, as Trey Moore is just ahead of Simos. Then Jet Wisdom in 19th. Steve Harris is still in 20th. And time has now expired. So Leclerc, who is about to check in this time by, is going to get the 2-lap board. Haley has got the gap cut down to 18 seconds for what it's worth, so he did his best. Absolutely gapped Adam Holm in third, 35 seconds down. Gonzalez just moved around Gebhardt, who I thought was down, and he was. Gebhardt able to get back by fairly quickly, though. Move back into fourth. Gonzalez trying to triple down the hill behind him. Just can't quite hook that inside rut, though. These guys will get the 2-lap board as well. Where is Leclerc on the track? Not going to get to lapping these guys, most likely. But he is going to hit a fairly chunky group of lappers here before long. Gebhardt has all kinds of pressure right now from Gonzalez. I swear I got the Takatoji dyno update. So apologies to the Takatoji team for not having it, but regardless of which, Gonzalez still trying to put some pressure here on Gebhardt. Really making him work for it. And 2-lap board out for them. Castellaneta not too far off the back, trying to keep them honest. Blakely and his teammate Magnetti. Ethan Parks, Eklund, Siebel. Let's see, where is Leclerc? Leclerc right behind Siebel right now, so he's about to lap 11th. If his teammate Siebel is so kind to let him through. And, oh, Siebel's going down, and he's off the bike. So Leclerc goes on by, and white flag is waving. Looks like Magnetti and Eklund are going to have the opportunity to stay on the lead lap, and they're trying to close up on Ethan Parks. So this is going to turn into a good three-rider battle, and if it gets a little crazy, someone's not going to finish on the lead lap because Leclerc isn't that far off of these guys where if somebody goes down or makes a big mistake, they'll allow Leclerc through. So they want to keep the fight going because while they are inside of the top 10, they're battling for 8th right now. Parks trying to hold it on around the inside, and Eklund gets into the back of him. Parks kind of hopped the inside rut. And Leclerc, there goes Leclerc on by. So Leclerc's now lapped up to 9th. Magnetti is now the last man on the lead lap. Ethan Parks still holds down 8th. Magnetti trying to get power back to the ground to close up on Parks, and almost landing on him was Kohenauer. Leclerc's still right behind them, and Parks just having to deal with all kinds of pressure. Magnetti around the outside, trying to make it happen. Parks trying to fight back, will not have a retaliatory effort there as Magnetti moves up into P8. Parks trying to fight back now, back to the inside again. Can't quite get there. Kohenauer lays it over as he was a lap down trying to unlap himself, but Leclerc is going to go on by to lap him for the second time. And Parks shoots back underneath Magnetti to get back up into 8th. Looks like those two will stay on the lead lap as up front Leclerc about to come down and take the win here. Parks and Magnetti just fighting tooth and nail. Parks got to do himself a favor and not let himself get lapped here. Leclerc doesn't need this. And Parks is going to go down, so Leclerc is going to lap him anyway. And Leclerc wins MXGP Race 1 at Orleanic in Russia. Jack Haley is going to pick up second here as Eklund beats Parks to the line for 9th. So Haley comes across in second. Adam Holmes should get third unless Walter Gebhardt can close up some time here pretty quick. Gonzalez still close as well. Castellaneta in 6th. Blakely 7th. 8th is Magnetti. 9th was Eklund. 10th Parks. So we'll wait for these guys all to kind of funnel through Gebhardt and Gonzalez might be the closest fight to keep an eye on. Jumping downhill, Gonzalez looks like he's just going to run out of time here to get Walter Gebhardt. Adam Holm about to come out of the final couple turns here and cross the finish line up in third. Gebhardt trying to get as close as he can to him. Remember, there's a lot of cuts in the 250 race, so could come into play. So third goes to Holm, fourth goes to Gebhardt, fifth goes to Kevin Gonzalez. All single digits inside of the top 5. That's kind of cool. Castellaneta is down in sixth, but Blakely also went down. So that opportunity squandered by the 21 machine. He could have moved up into sixth there ahead of Castellaneta, but the Nova GFX machine is going to hold on. Barring a crash here is, oh my gosh, Bryce Whelan almost took him down. That would have been crazy. Castellaneta ends up 6th, 7th for Blakely. Magnetti will be 8th. Eklund was 9th. 10th for Parks, 11th Holmes, 12th Speck, 13th was Seabolt, 14th for Carpenter, 15th Williams, 16th Moore, 17th Simmons, 18th Deering, 19th Harris, and 20th was Jet Wisdom. Just in time for cuts to come. We're still waiting on one rider. Looks like P23 hasn't crossed the line just yet. So let's see if cuts change anything inside of our points paying positions. And yeah, Jet Wisdom leapfrogs Steve Harris for 19th already. Looks like Seabolt jumped around Speck for 11th. And Holmes, who did finish 11th, drops all the way to 13th. Ethan Parks gets 9th on cuts ahead of Eklund. And the rest stayed the same. Leclerc dominating moto number 1 victory here at Orleanic in Russia. All right, folks. Well, little 5-minute intermission coming up. If you guys have anything you'd like to ask me and anything you'd like to chat about, now would be a good time to do so. I'm going to take this opportunity to go show off this gorgeous model. I think that was made by Alex Efforts over here. Somebody made it, and this is a piece of art. Like, whoever made this, that is some really good stuff here. Didn't put any scaffolding, it looks like, for the stairwell, but I'm not sure. Maybe it doesn't have any like that. I don't know what this thing is in real life, but it is dang cool looking in this game. I mean, the detail that they put in there, that's just incredible. Incredible. Let's see. Okay, Lachlan Levy, can you tell us about the Patterson brothers, like Tom and Jack Patterson, I'm guessing is what you're saying? Yeah, I mean, I used to race them in this game. They made, I mean, they just got really good at the game at one point. Like, they came out of nowhere, got super fast, and then disappeared. Like, they were here for about a year and a half. I think Jack Patterson may have even won an RF main event, 450 main event. It's really good. Both of them were really good. But, yeah, Patterson brothers. Don't know where they are anymore. They probably still ripping in Australia, and I know they like posting GoPro videos of them getting in, like, or watching people get in fights at local racetracks. So I don't know if that's what they're still doing or not. Vin Flipping still here. Good to see you. Danger Zone 12 wants to know, where would I rank Marc Marquez all time for MotoGP? I mean, he is getting up there quickly. I wouldn't say, I don't put him ahead of Valentino just yet, but he's getting there for me. I still put him behind Giacomo Agostini. He's getting to, you know, he's inside of the top 5 all time at this point already for me. How many wins and world titles he's racked up in such a short amount of time. Like, he still has a lot of time left in his career, and he can keep racking up wins. So, yeah. Who do I think is the dirtiest rider ever? I mean, that is so subjective, I feel like, because, I mean, like, just straight up dirty moves, I think Freeze has done a lot of stuff. But you go back to the 80s and stuff that Freeze is doing now is, like, kind of soft stuff. So, like, if you want to talk about how dirty the riders in the 80s were, I mean, it was insane. Bradshaw ghost riding his bike into Matasevic. You saw teammates lighting each other up all the time in the 80s. I mean, it just was chaos. So dirtiest rider ever. I don't know. That's a tough one. It's whoever that number 33 guy is that races the AX Tour in England. I forget, Ashley Greedy. That guy is, I mean, they pay him to be dirty, but still some of the stuff he does is like, man, that's going to get somebody pretty badly hurt. So you didn't build it, Alex. Jeremy did. Well, still, that's one of the cooler objects I feel like I've seen in this game. Does Luke Heberlein still race? No, actually, I haven't seen Luke Heberlein in a couple of years. He did show up and race a national last year, actually, now that I think about it. The old Gravedigger. Career number 28 there for a little bit. Won some nationals in his heyday. Just, yeah, fell off the map. Adam Wells wants to know, am I going to be at any big races? If I go to any nationals this year, I'm assuming I'm probably only going to Paula. But the difference is that all the nationals this year are closed pits. So even the media can't go in and talk to the riders. So, like, what, you know, there's no point really in the media going. And a lot of these races fans can't go to anyway. So I couldn't get in if I wasn't a part of the media. So I would maybe only go to the Fox National, but personally speaking, I don't even think that's going to happen. So we'll see. What's the best battle in this game you have ever seen? That's a good one. I mean, the Leclerc-Holm battle to the title in 2018 was ridiculous. I think the best straight-up battle I think I ever saw was Tyson Fresquez, Tyler Crane, Austin Jones, and Taylor Berry had a four-way. They crossed the line 0.7 of a second apart at High Point in 2012, and the entire second half of the moto, I think all of them individually fell one time, but they literally battled nonstop the entire second half of the second moto at High Point, I think. And the last corner, I think it was Crane past Jones and Barry around the outside in the final turn to win the moto. It was insane. It was such a good battle. And we had it on live stream replay for a long time because Sween and Wheels did that live stream broadcast, but I don't know where it went. Alrighty, it is time to go racing here in MXGP race number 2, the Russian Grand Prix. Let's find out if Leclerc can do it again or can anybody else stop him. Well, we're going racing right now as the gate is set to go down. It is down. Jack Haley got a great jump. Let's see if he can turn it into something. Cohenauer gets to the corner first. Haley gets pushed wide. He is down in turn number 1. And Speck, 2 for 2. Racetech.com whole shot award winner. Caden Speck leads. Leclerc's right there. We see, looks like Lewis Williams. Jeremy Cohenauer with a good start. I think that might be Brandon Holmes back there as well. But it is Speck and Leclerc 1 and 2. Leclerc trying to go to the lead early and set sail at the front. Might do the exact same thing he did last time. Just get around Speck as fast as possible and set sail. But this time Speck really putting up a good fight against him. At least for the time being, keeping him in check. See if Leclerc has something sized up that he wants to make a move, or maybe he settles into second here early and just tries to bide his time a little bit. Doesn't need to go for a desperation move into the lead. Jack Haley well down the order. First turn crash for him. Adam Holm also seems to be quite buried down the field. We haven't seen any of the other players, and Speck crashes himself out of the lead. There goes Leclerc to the front, and if the first moto is any indication, that is the last time anybody will see Alexis Leclerc. Lewis Williams now moves up into second. Chase Blakely battling it out with Jet Wisdom in third, so it is Wisdom on the MXSoccer.com 403 that is actually battling it in here in fourth. I thought it might have been Brandon Holmes. Aaron Rockefeller also with a good start. He's mixed in here. Jeremy Cohenauer. Devin Davis has got a good start this time around. Caden Speck, Logan Heagney, Ash Deering, Trey Moore. K-Carp up here. Zach Fisher, Braden Castellaneta, Adam Holm, and Jack Haley down the order here. They have got some work cut out for them as they are trying to rifle through the field here. Look at how tight this entire pack is right here. This is crazy. Adam Holm takes advantage to hop 2 positions and immediately falls and loses it all. Kyle Carpenter trying to drag race Ash Deering up the hill. See if Deering can hold Carpenter at bay as they try to run after Devin Davis. This is a battle 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on your screen right now. Cohenauer on the 15 Honda just at the back of the screen there. You just saw him peek into the picture. Chase Blakely. Big whip for both Deering and Carpenter as they're trying to chase after Devin Davis. Davis in his own right trying to keep Caden Speck just ahead of him, honest. As they continue to fight at the front of the field. You see this freight train coming up. Heagney, Trey Moore, Zach Fisher, all with good starts. They're going to try to stay there. Blakely and Siebold battling up the hill. Simmos has Castellaneta getting sideways. Haley just went down in the background. And here's another huge group of people. Ian Holm, I think that's Castellaneta on the right side of your screen with the neon teal gear of Dylan Long getting mixed up in here. Adam Holm on the number 1 trying to pass Ian Holm. I believe that's his actual real-life brother. And they're getting little squid McDidded. So Eklund hops around the inside to try to get both of them and will do so, as did Dylan Long. Dylan Long took advantage. But now Long goes down. Eklund, did he go down? No, but he got completely sideways off the outside of the track, so Holmes trying to fight back around them. Just a crazy amount of things happening in this group. Holm trying to go around the outside. Austin Eklund jumping down the hill. All that pressure being applied to Braden Castellaneta ahead of them as well, as he tries to hold the spot off. Eklund was looking feisty in that first moto, and when he was in the groove, definitely had the speed to go try and run towards the front. Scrubbing underneath Castellaneta and will make that move. Castellaneta just lets him have it. Doesn't want to try to fight in there and go down himself. So now he has to deal with Adam Holm. Kevin Gonzalez also closing up. Report from RacerRat in chat. Leclerc into the 39s, which is mental. Leclerc on a different level in this race right now. Doesn't help that seems like his nearest competition was Jack Haley, and Haley just got another dreadful start. Actually got a good jump, but just couldn't make it work. And it's actually impressive Haley, who qualified 18th and was 4 seconds off of Leclerc's pace, could run Leclerc's pace in the first moto and ended up second in that race. But now he's 29th, and he has got a huge amount of work to do. Holm finally gets on through around Castellaneta, and he's going to try to follow Eklund to go after Zach Fisher. And Eduardo Simmos just ahead of these guys as well. Fisher trying to carry some momentum through the rollers, and Eklund's going to take advantage of that. We got riders down. Blakely was down with Speck. at the end of the waves, and they just lost a lot of positions, a lot of riders going through here. Blakely going to get up alongside of Dylan Long and push him off the track, and Blakely tips over and goes down. Now Long gets on right ahead of Logan Heagney. They're going to double down the hill side by side. Oh my goodness, how did Heagney ride out of that? He cased the bejesus out of that table. Then goes super long on the step up and goes down. Dylan Long's just trying not to get landed on by his fellow Australian. Although, actually, I should correct that. Heagney is from New Zealand. He always corrects me on that. So I apologize, Mr. Logan Heagney. You are not Australian. You are from New Zealand. Still Leclerc out front, though. 7 minutes, 50 seconds done. Just cruising. 16.5-second lead on Lewis Williams right now, who is having one of the motos of his career. Be awesome if he was on the right 450, but maybe he doesn't have a 450 in the pack, so I'll let him slide this one time. Seabolt dealing with some pressure from Mr. Kyle Carpenter here on the 708. Carpenter trying to put some pressure on the 39 of Seabolt. Seabolt just looking to have a better moto than he did in the first one. Not a good start to his night for the 39 machine out of the second corner going down there. Oh, Seabolt goes long on the table. And just a huge crash there for the 39 machine, and he's going to lose some spots. Devin Davis went through. Kyle Carpenter also went through. Eric Thompson dropping by a chat. Good to see old ET. Bringing in the GP donos. Much love, Kellen. Thank you for the $2 donation, Eric. And Alexis Leclerc is running 39s out front, and RacerAd in chat just keeps letting me know that he's doing 39s consistently. He's done 4 39s in a row, and that's 1 minute 39-second lap time. So I think now is a good time to go on board Leclerc and see if he can make it 5 in a row. And just like we did in the first moto, well, I jinxed it. Way to go, Kellen. I'll just turn the stream off. I'll turn all the lights off, and I'll just go to bed because I just jinxed Leclerc out of 5 139s in a row. I don't know if he really cared that much, but he was cruising. And the second I go to him, he tips over. Still going to be a ridiculous lap time, though. I'm going to guess this is going to be a 1:43.2 that he runs. But we'll see. Maybe he was on the verge of a 38, so it's going to be even better than that. I got a 1:43.2, though. Let's see how close I get. Coming down to the finish line, and he runs a 1:44.3, so I actually was wrong there as well. Lewis Williams, he's going to hold on to second for the time being. Kyle Carpenter, like I said, is up to third after Seabolt's crash. Devin Davis just got passed back by Seabolt, so he's now back into P5 is the number 33. Adam Holm has climbed his way up to 6th, so Adam Holm on a good charge here. The number 1 atom.com machine. Working his way forward. Good salvage ride here. Third in the first moto. Trying to put together another good ride, but he just landed on Jeremy Seabolt, who was in a very rough spot there coming off the landing of that thing. And Eklund and Simos both take advantage to go on by. Holm and Whelan get up behind them. Ash Deering coming over the hill as well. Zach Fisher, Kevin Gonzalez, and Braden Castellaneta in a bit of a freight train here. Good little 3-rider battle mixed in here. Castellaneta probably thinks of himself as someone who can go through these guys with relative ease after a good ride in the first moto. But Gonzalez obviously no slouch. Finished ahead of Castellaneta. Zach Fisher trying to get some points in this moto, though, is dealing with all kinds of pressure, and now he's getting all... That was a comedy of errors. First of all, Gonzalez got sideways, almost went down. Then Fisher got sideways, almost went down. Castellaneta had to stop to avoid both of them. Ended up passing both of them. Now we got 4 riders in the air together. Fisher alongside, was that Magnetti? And who's that? Speck down the inside. Trey Moore on the 322 is mixed in. Ethan Parks on the 96 coming over the jump as well. Got 5 riders in the air at the same time here. And, ooh, this could get tight. Fisher trying to go inside. Wow, Zach Fisher hooked that inside rut. Nicely done, son, but he just lost some time there. And then hooked up on the inside rut there. Caden Speck was down, and he's trying to get going. He kind of balked up Ethan Parks there a little bit, so Dylan Long catches the group. Zach Fisher now has Trey Moore in his sights with Luke Magnetti off the front of this group. And Magnetti gets sideways. He goes down. He takes down Trey Moore. So Dylan Long scoots on through. Gonzalez, unbeknownst to him, isn't watching any of this because he's ahead of it. Oh, Dylan Long almost landed on Zach Fisher, then whips in his face. Let's see if we see some dualies. Fisher, you got something? No, straight air Leclerc for both of them. Even Dylan Long disappointing me right now. Unbelievable. So they continue their fight. Ethan Parks, James Cohen. We got Luke Magnetti flipping into the screen right now. Caleb Hall battling it out right now with Trey Moore. They jump down the hill together. Moore shuts the door. No rhyme intended there. Aaron Rockefeller has Blakely, Haley, and Steve Harris right behind him. So really anywhere outside of the top 10 seems to have terrific battling going on right now. These guys are not even in points, and this is absolute chaos at its finest. Haley doing what he can to make up some positions, and he gets into Blakely, who is sideways on the wall. When it's not your moto, it's not your moto, and at this point it's turning into when it's not your year, it's not your year. 35-second lead. Kyle Carpenter has moved into second ahead of Lewis Williams, but Leclerc, 35 seconds. We're not even halfway through this moto, folks. We are not 15 minutes into this moto, and it's a 35-second lead for Alexis Leclerc. Boy, oh boy. Maybe it's a good thing I'm going to be on Pulp next week and not streaming this because Leclerc is making these guys look silly. Ooh, Zach Fisher getting sideways. And corrals it together just in time to almost go through a tough block, so Steve Harris closes up on him. Chase Blakely also in the mix. I'll tell you what, this is just some quality riding going on through the field. Not saying I could do any better, but this is some good stuff to watch because these guys are making a lot of mistakes. Kevin Gonzalez just went down. Blakely just went down behind them. Zach Fisher now ahead of Kevin Gonzalez. Aaron Rockefeller is trying to get Caleb Hall. They're right behind Trey Moore and James Cohen. Caden Speck is bar to bar with Ethan Parks. And he is going to fight to get that position back. Jumps across the inside of him. Dylan Long. Much better ride this time around. Eduardo Simos, Braden Castellaneta. Ash Deering, Devin Davis, Bryce Whelan, Adam Holm, Jeremy Seabolt, Austin Eklund, Lewis Williams, Kyle Carpenter, and Alexis Leclerc running to the front of the field this time. No touchy to hutchy. $20 donation. Thank you so much for that donation. Thanks for the content, Kellen. Get some poop chute stoppers for the kiddo. Yes, definitely going to get some diapers. Poop chute stoppers. I have never heard that name for diapers, but that is A+ stuff right there. Definitely going to come in handy. We just got to our final pack of diapers today. I think we calculated it out too that it's the first month alone she's gone through. Man, we did this calculation the other day, but I want to say it was something like 200 or 250 diapers so far. Kids poo and pee. That's what happens, man. Back to the racing action, though. Alexis Leclerc, Carpenter, Seabolt, top 3. Holm has moved up to 4th. He's gotten ahead of Whelan. And Devin Davis. Devin Davis has dropped back to 6th, and Lewis Williams has lost several positions now. He's now behind Devin Davis. Trying to fight back on the 330 to us, but he's number 193 in reality, and they just went around Whelan, so Williams is going to try to out-drag Devin Davis up the hill. tripling down the outside. Williams trying to get back to the inside on Davis. Has to stack it up in the corner, and then high centers on the rut, so there goes that battle. Whelan will close up a little bit on him. Deering and Eklund having a nice fight here. Eklund tucks the front wheel. Castellaneta trying to close up the gap. Nice little scrub there for Eklund. Get the power back down to the ground. He's trying to close up on Deering as much as Castellaneta behind him is trying to close up on the both of them. And Castellaneta is going to have a great opportunity here as Eklund cased the table into this long back section. Then he cased the second jump as well. And Whelan was just down in transition. So they're both going to pick up a spot as they continue their fight. And they're trying to run down Deering ahead of them. 18 minutes in, Jack Haley is still in 22nd place. This is where it all comes unraveled here for Haley. If Leclerc is going to win this moto, he is pulling out so many points in the championship. Alex Efforts, thank you so much for the $10 donation. No, it was definitely not a subtle hint. I was just trying to basically say how fast we went through diapers. I was kind of shocked because, as mentioned, we had a lot. And she's gone through them rather quickly, but that's what happens. But I appreciate the $10 donation regardless. Again, like I said, this is all very helpful in going to the Holly Brauer Diaper Fund. Poor girl. She's going to be so embarrassed if she ever watches this back one day. Be like, my dad making just so much fun of me as a 1-month-old baby. Didn't know any better. But, yeah. Thank you, Alex. He says, I don't know if you saying you just used up the last pack of diapers was a subtle hint or not, but regardless, cheers to my favorite YouTuber. Thank you, Alex. Seriously, man, that means a ton. And always appreciate the support you have here on the stream and the donations you provide. That is really, really nice of you, and appreciate, regardless of the donations, that you're here chatting with everybody every night as well, because I know that some people always ask for a little bit of help in the chat, and as a resident, long-standing player and model designer in this game, I feel like you offer some good insight to some people who offer questions to the chat. So I always appreciate you being around here and answering those questions. Looks like Siebold's caught up to Carpenter, getting sideways there. See what Siebold's lap times are in comparison. 42.1 to a 46.2 last time by, so 4 seconds that last lap alone. And Carpenter was able to run some comparable best laps to what Siebold's putting in right now, but still looks like Siebold has got the moves going right now to try to close this gap down on the 708 machine for P2. Oh, Leclerc looks like he may have just gone down with some lappers out front, but these guys so far back, really not going to matter much. Siebold launching down the hill there. Man, these two are all alone on this side of the track. Everybody else on the other side of the track right now, comparatively. And just as Siebold was closing up that gap a little bit on Carpenter, stretched back out to almost 2 seconds at this point. Curious to look at the lap times to see if it did go down 43 dead to a 42.9, so it actually stayed exactly the same from the last time by. I just can't imagine Siebold's going to close this gap down a little bit at this point on Carpenter, who's riding really well. Can't discredit what Carpenter's doing at all, but Siebold seems to have a little bit more speed in the tank. Only going to be a matter of time before he gets things close enough. Gets close in that corner and then loses traction on exit, so just can't get that power down. Try to make the move back just yet. This is a good fight, though, because both of them running, for the most part, a pretty similar pace at the time. And Carpenter has done a great job at responding to the pressure from Siebold. And Seabolt, oh, I thought he was going down. He rode the nose so far in that corner. Had kind of that weird front nose dive / slide out thing happen to him, which normally means your head's going to hit the ground and you'll fall off the bike, but he was kind of lucky there to not have one of those happen. So that allows Carpenter to open up a bit of a gap, and Adam Holm senses some opportunity here with 8 minutes and some change to play with. Might be able to close this gap down and have a chance at moving into second in this one, which would put him second overall as well. I think he's actually already in that position, though, as Haley is so far down the order. And Ash Deering back here in 5th. Lewis Williams up to 6th again. Braden Castellaneta is 7th. 8th for Devin Davis as he comes into our screen. 9th for Bryce Whelan. 10th for Ethan Parks. 11th, Austin Eklund. 12th now for Jack Haley. So he's charged forward and made things a lot closer here. Oh, big crash. That is Davis going down. He brings Ethan Parks with him. And Haley gets 2 spots for the price of 1. He's actually about to be lapped by Leclerc, which is insane. Leclerc already lapping up to 10th, 9th, I should say, in this moto. Almost 24 minutes in, he's about to lap 9th. Yeah, Leclerc on a different planet right now. So we go to the leader. You can see Jack Haley just ahead of him. 50-second lead, Alexis Leclerc. You want to talk about dominating this Grand Prix? Thought the first moto looked good. Second moto is a different story. Leclerc is killing everybody tonight. Landing so perfectly in these ruts as he hops to the inside of things. Hasn't closed that gap down yet on Haley, and that inside rut is completely shattered at this point. Even Leclerc messing it up. So for the time being, Haley has got away unscathed, and there is chaos aplenty back here between the Kyle Carpenter and Jeremy Seabolt battle. Seabolt's caught him again a little bit, and there's lap traffic mixed in. So now this is about to get interesting. Seabolt trying to put the pressure on Carpenter, and Carpenter just trying to get through some lap traffic. He's going around Zach Fisher there on the 317. And at this point, I think even these guys are starting to get up into the points-paying positions as Carpenter doesn't get to the inside to defend, and Seabolt takes full advantage of it to just shoot down the inside, and he finally moves up into second. That was a long time coming to make that happen, and finally it worked. Lewis Williams now putting pressure on Ash Deering. This is for 5th. This would be a good move for Williams to get around Ash Deering. This would be a solid ride for the rider out of Great Britain on the swapmotolive.com machine. Lost a little bit of ground. That corner is just getting kind of chopped out all the way through. Let's see what Castellaneta does here. This goes all the way around the outside. Doesn't want to deal with all that chop exiting that inside of the rut there. Haley seems to have got it well, though, and Haley's up to 8th. So talking about how bad this moto was going for Haley, this is a good salvage effort on his part. He is going to run out of time here fairly quickly. 26 minutes into this moto, and he's still about 3 seconds ahead of Leclerc, so he doesn't quite have that that blue bar on screen just yet in P8, but it's going to be tough to get much higher than 7th, let alone even get 7th at this point for Haley with time running down. Shout out to Eric Thompson, $10 donation. Everybody's being so generous with the donations tonight. You guys, seriously, that is so awesome. You guys absolutely rock the tune up and watch these races. But end of the night dono, if you get the itch to ride, I put out 3 tracks this week on the forums, considering remaking a more realistic, harder Erzberg Iron Giant. Thanks for streaming, bud. That would be epic, Eric. I know I want to do an Erzberg video on the one that was just made in MX Bikes. I just need to find any time at all in my life to do that, and I will. But that would be awesome, Eric, and thanks again for the donation. Always appreciate the support. So Jack Haley, Braden Castellaneta, and Ash Deering closing up quickly here in a battle for 6th. This is quite quickly happened. Deering was nowhere close to these guys, so he crashed back to this battle. And Castellaneta now has Haley to deal with. And someone in front of him with a carrot dangling. So he's trying to go run down Deering, but not get passed by Haley. The lesser of two evils is to focus ahead of you, but you can't give an inch to Jack Haley because he will take every little bit of it. He's alongside of him now. Tries to get the power back down. Castellaneta goes long and then super jumps down the hill trying to get the defense and blows the rut. And Haley gets in there and then gets pushed out by Castellaneta, so he goes down. Leclerc finally laps Haley, and Bryce Whelan is going to take advantage to go around Haley for the 8th spot as well. So now Castellaneta has to fight forward and go after Deering, but he's also going to be lapped by Leclerc here before long. Castellaneta just trying to get back up into the picture, and he gets taken out as Brandon Holmes was crashing to the ground. So down goes Castellaneta. Haley goes back by. He just got back by Whelan, so that's now P7 for Haley. Deering probably a little bit too far up the road at the moment, but obviously crashes could come into play. P5, Lewis Williams, great ride for him. Adam Holmes still up in 3rd. Carpenter, I'm sorry, in 4th. Carpenter in 3rd. Seabolt in 2nd. So it's the Rockstar Husky 1-2 led by Leclerc, who is going to have the 2-lap board next time by. So 3 laps to go. Riders going down all around Leclerc. It is a bit of a chaotic battle scene here tonight in Orleanic, and Leclerc is laying waste to the best of them. Oh, Carpenter, what a save. Scrubbed a little bit too far and just got a little bit off kilter, but a nice job to corral together, because if he gone down, would have lost that 3 spot to Adam Holm, who is still just lurking back here, hoping, praying, and there it is. The opportunity presents itself as Carpenter goes down out of 3rd. Adam Holm takes advantage to go around him, and he moves himself up into that final podium spot, which puts him 2nd overall as they run 3-3 on the day for Holm. Going to be good enough for 2nd overall. And here is Haley up to 6th now. So 48.3 last time by, 3 seconds down off of 5th. And Haley definitely not out of this just yet for an opportunity to squeak inside of the top 5 and get more points. He has not been lapped by Leclerc yet, but I think that's because Leclerc had a crash of some sort. So Haley, all he can do is focus ahead of him on Deering and try to run him down, as 2-lap board has gone out for Leclerc. Just crossed the finish line, jump behind Haley. And Haley just got to try to get that gap down to Deering like I mentioned. Oh, Seabolt. Whew, good save. Oh, Carpenter. Oh, I thought... it's kind of a weird camera angle. I thought he was back ahead of Holm for a second, but my brain just went stupid. Haley's caught up to Deering now. Can Haley make this move to get up inside of the top 5, salvage any little shred of points that he still has on the table against Leclerc? Otherwise, this is getting out of hand quickly. Oh, again, same corner that has bit him time and time again. He just tucks the front wheel over that inside rut, just pushing a little too hard. Just got that front end a little too high in the rut, and over it he goes, loses more time, and that might spell the end of his chance against Deering, but I keep saying that, and then he catches him again, so maybe things will change. Adam Holm is probably not going to get to Seabolt, but Leclerc is about to take the white flag, so let's find ourselves another battle to watch here. Looks like Cohenauer and Blakely having a bit of a rendezvous in this corner. Cohenauer gets up and immediately falls again, so Blakely comes to a dead stop not to hit him, and then Eklund coming in goes down, so Castellaneta goes on by. Trey Moore also goes by. Trey Moore having a good ride here. Ethan Parks getting passed there by Kevin Gonzalez. Ethan Parks back up inside, gets back around Gonzalez. Eklund and Trey Moore. Oh, Ryder's down. Castaneda was down with, I think that might have been Zach Fisher, who's a lap down. Like I said, though, white flag is out for Leclerc. 49-second lead on teammate Jeremy Seebold. I mean, it is just a dominating day for Leclerc. Doesn't get much more dominant than that. Trey Moore is trying to hold on to, this is top 10 right now, I think. No, it's 11th. Sorry, 11th ahead of Eklund. Eklund shoots down the inside and will try to get that pass complete. Yes, he will. Pass complete. Austin Eklund around Trey Moore. Well, back up to Leclerc out front as he just lapped Whelan. Pretty perfect day in Russia for the Frenchman. Extends his championship lead, dominates both motos. In the end of it was a pretty easy day. The only thing that wasn't perfect was he didn't get the whole shot either moto. And he didn't lead the first lap either because the finish line jump right there after the whole shot marker. But otherwise, just about as flawless of a day as you can have here in MX Simulator. And Leclerc is going to come down through the final corner one more time. And the Russian Grand Prix goes to Alexis Leclerc. 1-1 performance. What a day for the Frenchman. Seebold trying to hold on to second. Should do that fairly easily. Holm is much closer to Carpenter than Carpenter is to Seebold. Deering still P5. 6 is already wrapped up as Whelan's crossed the line. 7th then goes to Haley, so he lost out there in the end. And more points lost. Lewis Williams will end up 8th. Good ride for him. Chase Blakely should get 9th. Trey Moore and Castaneda battling it out. Last top 10 position. Moore is going to go to the inside here to try to get Castaneda back. Let's see if he has a different line option. No, they both tuck inside to defend. Double table. Final corner. Castaneda's just got to get this corner clean, and he will. He holds on to 10th. 11th Moore. Gonzalez is going to come through here for P12. 13 going to Austin Eklund. Ethan Parks coming down will get 14th. 15th is going to go to Eduardo Simos. 16th going to go to Cohenauer. 17th goes to Magnetti. 18th and some points going to James Cohen. Dylan Long going to get some points, so not all bad at the end of the day for the 117. And Aaron Rockefeller also going to get some points here, so this is going to be some happy times here for the man who normally rides the number 800 but is on the 561 here this evening. Adam Holm does indeed cross 3rd. 4th for Kyle Carpenter. And Rockefeller does cross with that final points paying position, so we're still waiting for P5 to cross. It is Ash Deering. And he will not give us cuts, actually. It is P21 of Caleb Hall about to give us cuts. Then we'll do a quick rundown of who lost out on cuts and send you guys on your merry way here this evening. Caleb Hall checks in. Cuts are in. And looks like Cohen got Magnetti on cuts for 17th. And Moore got P10 on Castaneda. Haley jumps to 6th ahead of Whelan. So some points gained back there. And that was it. Leclerc dominates here at Russia. And that's going to do it here for the 7th round of the Race Factor Gaming Grand Prix Championship. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Join us on Wednesday evening for round number 6 of the Nationals Series, kicking back up off again. Hopefully we'll see you guys there. Big shout out, of course, everybody who donated tonight. You guys are the real MVPs, and all the sponsors that are behind RaceFactorGaming.com, Ride365.com, Moto Option Clothing, Tagger Designs, MXS Lobby, Racetech Suspension, Underground RC, and anybody else that I missed. You guys are all great who help out with this series and help put it on. And of course, the Race Factor Gaming Design track crew, everybody else involved there. You guys rock. Good night of racing here in Russia. And we'll be back on Wednesday night with some more rounds of the National Championships. Thanks, guys, for watching, and we'll see you guys then. So long for now.